Oh yeah, baby. What up, what up, what up? Good morning, good evening, America. It is I, the reader, the palm reader. Hello, this Street fam, sending my love to all you beautiful folks. Thank you. I'm sending it right back to you guys. Tonight is a love-filled stream, filled with love and filled with happy joyness. Hello to Pradeep too. Yes, you can see Pradeep on my Instagram story at letsread.official. He's up there cleaning himself, licking his paws, licking his chops. Tonight, we are reading... The hell are we reading? Tonight, we are reading Scary Night Shift Stories. Oh my gosh, what am I even doing? Just type it in, man. I'm doing like underscores. Okay, pinned, message pinned. How are you guys? Tell me. What's good? How was my week? My week was good, man. This week was a wildly interesting and normal week. A great weekend. I just paid a shit ton in taxes. You all can thank me. That's going to your beautiful utopia that you've desired for so long. They said they're going to take my specific check and they're going to make the world so much better for you specifically. Hey Joe, I'm filming a movie in 2027. It's the beginning stages, but there's a voiceover monologue at the beginning. Wanted to see if you had any interest. Yeah, man, let's do it. That doesn't sound too hard. In the beginning, there was one guy who didn't know how to use chopsticks. And then he very quickly figured out how to do it. Joel, your videos helped me stay sober. I made 1 year sober this past February. Hey, congratulations, Selena. That's amazing. Keep doing it. Keep going forever. Hit the gym. Find Jesus, whatever you need to do. Make it happen. Doing uni work? Damn. That's okay. One day you will say, uni work was such a blessing. Is this considered back to the old schedule? Well, yeah, I was like caught up at my tax office because he's also like become a friend over the years. I've been doing taxes with him for like 6 years, and now we're friends. And I got to meet his fiance for the first time, and that was fun. So, yeah, it's interesting. But that's what kept me away from the stream. I wanted to obviously start a little bit earlier, but it is what it is. Wouldn't regret if we could vote where our taxes go. I mean, yeah, it would be nice if there was some degree of like, not just like everything just is a sweeping change based on the hopes that some candidate's going to do exactly what you want. You would think that there would be something, I don't know, but at the same time, how do you change that kind of shit? If you were to ever get involved in like the distribution of funds, you'd immediately be labeled as every naughty word under the sun. Work. Well, yeah. The Scary Night Shift story is getting blamed for closing from the openers and worker trap. Oh, like not closing correctly. Just happy to see me streaming. Yeah, I'm happy to be here, honestly. Tonight should be sick. This is one of the best communities on YouTube. Everyone is quite nice. So thank you guys for being nice and cool and chill maxing. My Scary Night Shift story is getting harassed by the drive-thru by drunk people from the bar down the street. Yeah, that sounds miserable. If I never have to work in like any sort of late night thing ever again, relate with drunk people. I mean, you guys can be drunk if you want. Wouldn't suggest it, but I think I could deal with your drunken harassment, no problem. We would all have a nice giggle. You had a gun pulled on you on night shift. Fun times. Jesus. What did you do? What was that like? I got a girlfriend? I don't think so. Maybe she's around here somewhere. I don't know. Hey, Liz. I hated drunk customers when I used to work night shift at a donut shop. Yeah, it's just ridiculous. You know what I mean? Wart. But yeah, what else is new, guys? Yeah, I got the Pokemon card collecting bug. I told you about that last time, and I'm still at it. I'm still cracking packs. I've got some decently cool cards. I got this full illustration card of like a Bulbasaur that was kind of sick. I forget what they call it, like SRIs or something. Super rare illustrations. I don't even know. A guy got stabbed in the eye with a high heel. Was a graveyard server at IHOP. Oh, God. Jesus Christ. Yeah. And it's like, it's not like IHOP. They kind of hire some of the more scrupulous individuals, so I can imagine it's not the greatest interaction overall. I don't know why people who know they're angry drunks keep drinking. If it makes you mad, why do it? Maybe their bodies are addicted to it, so it's like, you know. But yeah, I guess, and that's one of the worst things too, is that maybe they're just angry people in general, so the drinking like initially feels good, but just leads to their deeper emotions manifesting. I've been chased through the woods in pitch black darkness before and never knew or figured out what it was. Damn, was that during the night shift? Anyone here have the Inspire device for sleep apnea? I don't know, man. You having some trouble? I learned a lot from the Pokemon conversation. Yeah, I feel like I was like learning more every day. My one friend like legitimately like wanted to open up a Pokemon or a card store. But I'll be honest with you, I feel like a card store sounds, I don't know. A card store sounds like a pain in the ass to run. Do you have any other hobbies besides this? Well, this is your job besides the gym. I mean, I've been getting into the Pokemon stuff as like a hobby, mainly just to like add that in there. But yeah, I mean, I just like hang out with people a lot, you know, see people. I mean, I should probably pick up some other one. And honestly, the aspect of being on a normal sleep schedule has opened the window for that quite a bit. So I have no idea. Hopefully that starts to, I don't know. Hopefully, if you guys got any ideas of what I should try, maybe I could take some singing lessons, and then you guys wouldn't think my singing is absolute shite. You're trying to sell your childhood collection? Yeah, you should tag me in it. What kind of cards you got? I have a friend who owns a card store. He seems to be doing well. Yeah, I don't know. It'd be interesting to like pick their brain, you know, see how it goes, and where all the, because I assume you have to go to the conventions, and I don't know. Eventually, when it kind of gets into the realm of profit, it's like there's not really any longer like the appreciation for just cracking the packs or playing the game or whatever. It's just, yeah. I don't sing, but I free write occasionally. Yeah, that's honestly what I should be doing in my free time, just like writing. I've been playing a lot of like Super Meat Boy 3D. I've made it through the first 3 like stages, like, you know, there's 15 levels per stage, and it's pretty damn fun, honestly. It's a very good, it can be frustrating at times, but it is a very good 3D platformer overall, I would say. In many ways, it has better controls than Mario. Joel, has your workouts changed recently? I mean, basically switching to a new trainer. Like the first day I'll do like upper body strength, second day lower body strength, and then the last 2 days it'll be upper body hypertrophy and then lower body hypertrophy stuff, like with machines. And yeah, it just felt good, you know. I've been feeling pretty solid with them. Sounds like a terrible business decision, a fun one, but not a good one. Yeah, honestly, I've already, like, my friend was like, dude, we just put this money in, and who cares if, like, we miss out on it? I'm like, I don't think people realize whenever you, like, throw yourself into something, if it costs you a bunch of money and you lose, it's just, I learned that with the gym, like, starting up a gym. It's not a fun experience, because it's not just that one-time amount that you put in, it's the continuous amount of stuff that continues to cost you to keep it going. Are you going back to 9 for the lives? No, I just started a little bit later today. Probably still be at like 7:30/8 p.m. I was just like really behind with meeting with my tax guy. All 151 OGs, a few Japanese holos, a lot of first edition gym leaders. Nice, dude. Yeah, you'll have to scan them and see what... I mean, you might be able to get some decent stuff. Maybe get them graded for eBay or whatever. Anyways, guys, you want to begin? Should we get into this? I feel like we got some people in here. Pradeep saw his shadow. He did, yeah. Hey, Jetta Jade, what's up? Long time no see. I bought a campground in North Michigan last fall near Cadillac, Michigan. You should come stay here and do a live show from here. I'll give you the best cabin. Thank you. I'll have to think about it. Let's get into it. All right, friends. Thanks for being here. Click like, click share. The ghost stories videos seem to do really well, so thank you guys for watching that. We got to get the live numbers back up. Even whenever starting around this time, it still seems like the numbers are still low, but hey, you know, got to be thankful for what you're given in life, you know? Every day is every day. I'm going to try my best to avoid any sort of excessive contentious discussions. But, you know, sometimes things just flow. I'm not trying to hold back anybody's speech or things they want to talk about because, you know, it is your right as a human being to talk. Why are all the ghost stories on members only? I'm poor. Well, usually what I do is I'll put them in the members only one set and then, like, compile a bunch more. And then that's the newest one that just came out, the hour and a half one. So... you're not missing out on any. All the ones are on the channel for, you know, free, technically. Except listen to this. Feels like every video got in the last 2 months while trying to sleep, relax, love the content. Thank you, Superior. Appreciate you. Joel, we shouldn't be just a number to you. That's a good point, honestly. I should just appreciate our interactions and unzip my pants. Start peeing my pants, too. All right. Let's get it. Almost a decade ago, my boyfriend, now husband, ended up getting into a pretty serious car accident. And during his recovery, I had to pick up extra shifts wherever and whenever I could, and the only extra shifts available were night shifts at an alternate site that required a long drive. I didn't mind at all, and that's what made me think, wow, maybe I love this guy enough to start a family with him. But it also is one of these nightly commutes that I went through. Also, for anybody new, whenever I stop recording, it's because I'm, you know, stopping the recording, I'm continuing. There'll be a lot of chatting. It's not just going to be like stories, you know what I mean? I feel like I have to explain it every time because people leave comments and get pissed about it. But basically, I'm recording the stories, so you kind of have to get it right. And I'll be jumping around chatting with you guys as well, but feel free to ask whatever you want. And if anybody seems frustrated, don't be mean to them. Just let them know that's how it works here during the live streams. I re-listen to all the live videos so I can sleep. Anyone else listen? Joy Renee, thank you. The free flow is part of the fun. Yeah, exactly. But it's like every VOD, you know, the video on demand afterwards. It's like someone has to, like, I thought you were going to read stories, man, you fucking piece of shit. And then they kill me with a knife. And it's like, come on, man. What's up, Kerr? But it was also on one of these nightly commutes that I went through the single most traumatic experience of my whole life. My route took me through some pretty desolate patches of Arizona, and although I'd climb into my driver's seat with the sun still above the horizon, it'd be full dark outside by about half hour or 45 minutes into the drive. Now, I hated driving at night, and even more so these days because it reminded me of this whole thing. But back then, I was kind of adjusting to the whole routine of grabbing a bucket-sized iced coffee and then listening to my morning playlist at the total opposite side of the day. But then, on this one particular journey, I remember feeling... No yapping, only read. Lol at them when they get deranged about it. It's whatever. It's whatever. You need us as much as we need you. That's true, man. I do. Honestly, if YouTube dried up, I would die and wither and wane and have no identity and feel like a fucking piece of glumble. Just the most relaxing voice and vibe. Love all the videos for real. Just as satisfying, calming to listen to as Mr. Ballin for sure. My favorite channel of this type. Thank you. Anybody else do chores when they listen to stories? It does kind of help pass the time, doesn't it? How's your new Z pattern, Jolie? It's honestly going pretty good. Passing out or getting in bed at least by midnight and then sleeping till 7 or 8 is good. I do always wake up at least one time in the night. I wish I could figure out why that is. It always seems like there's just one period of the night where my liver is getting this false impression that it's time to rock and roll, but maybe that just means I need to go to bed earlier? I don't even fucking know. Yeah, the 3 a.m. piss. What the hell's up with that 3 a.m. piss? Is that something going on there? Do you think it's ghosts? Do you think I'm haunted? Do you think my liver is haunted? I listen to vids while I work all night. It makes my working experience a little more spooky. That's good. Nah, you'll just have to get a job like us freaking dumb fucks. I guess so, yeah. What a hell that would be. I'm just kidding. I think that's called the witching hour, and we have to wake up through the night mainly around 3. Yeah, it's strange. Would anyone in this chat want to come to my campground for a weekend of Joel where they're doing a live? Just to clarify, it's probably not good to give away, your location. I would advise everybody in here and encourage nobody to exchange information with random people on the internet. You know what I'm saying? Both your location or your social medias, just because, you never know how fucking weird people can be. I'm not saying you guys are. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that we got a little bit of a rule that I would like to protect you guys from each other. Witching hour. Love your laugh. Your voice is beautiful. Thank you, Astral. Unironically, brought that up because the witching hour isn't a joke. Yeah, but I've heard it's I could definitively see something, going on for sure. But at the same time, I could also see, your body releasing cortisol at weird times. But then, on this one particular journey, I remember the feeling of horror I felt when, on a particular desolate stretch of road, my engine started to seize up. I didn't know much about cars at the time. I still don't really, but I knew the sounds my car were making were not normal or healthy. Now, being the idiot I was, I didn't do anything but hope the issue would resolve itself, but it didn't. And I don't think that I made it more than a couple of miles further before I started to see either steam or smoke coming out from under the hood. I pulled over and turned off the engine, thinking that if I just left it a few minutes to cool down, I'd be able to start her up again and just keep driving. But when I turned my key in the ignition, the engine did nothing but turn over a few times before dying. I tried a few more times, hoping things would unscrew themselves in there somehow, but nothing worked. And then after letting out a stream of curse words that'd make a sailor blush, I called ahead to work and told them about my engine trouble. Now, my boss wasn't happy, but he wasn't mad either. He just told me to take care of it, get to work whenever possible, and keep him updated on how things were going. I hung up and was just about to call roadside assistance when I noticed a dark-colored van pull in ahead of me. Now, I got this feeling of hope, thinking that someone had pulled over to help out. And then when I saw that the van... I feel like I am imagining words sometimes. So frustrating. Hey, Carol Williamson, thank you for the 5. Says, Hoel, my big day is coming up. By Wednesday's live, I'll know if I'm a homeowner. Hey, congratulations, Carol. That's amazing. That'll be a big day. I hope that goes well for you. Keep us posted. And Astral, thank you for the 3 Australian. Appreciate you. It's pretty sad when you have to remind grown adults about internet safety. I think the one thing is that, like, this is gonna sound odd, but like, sometimes I think like the era of maybe quite a bit older are not familiar with it, like in the same way that like kids might not be familiar with the dangers of internet. I feel like getting up there a bit older can also feel like almost too trusting of randoms on the internet, you know what I mean? Just because they're not familiar with, or maybe they're not terminally online enough or whatever, but it's all good. I mean, presumably most people you come across are good, normal people, but it only takes one to sour the bunch, so just, you gotta be careful. What time did this start? We started 20 minutes ago, but normally I start earlier. They'd be sending money to Elon Musk. Here you go, Elon. Buy something nice. Just got numb and not caring or trusting too much without any reason. I mean, I guess maybe some people get to the point where they're like, fuck it. Come to my house, I need friends. I hope most kids are wiser than to the internet. Yeah. How often do you read submitted stories? I mean, it's every video, technically. I'm pretty sure you can trust everyone on the internet. I still have faith that Nigerian prince will pay me back one day. He's just building up his funds, yeah. Since 2020, the man is the GOAT. He just needs to work on lay pull down. Lay pull down. What's like lap pull downs? Are my lap pull downs lacking? Wait, what happened? What happened to my lap pull downs? Are they dog shit? I got this feeling of hope, thinking someone had pulled over to help out. And then, when I saw the van back up so it was much closer, and watched a guy climb out of his driver's seat, I felt this wave of relief and appreciation, thinking some good Samaritan was going to help me get to work on time. I opened up my car door just to... Damn, dude, I don't know what the fuck's wrong with my eyeballs. What's a lat? It's called your latissimus dorsi. It's like on your sides where your rib cage is. There's like it's a back muscle used for like pulling things down to you, you know? Like, imagine if you were like a rock climber, you would be using your lats a lot. And honestly, I could use some help with my lats, especially my left one. My like right one is not way bigger, but definitely bigger than the left one. It's normal, Joel. Unless you're exhausted, you won't stay asleep all night. I'm pretty sure you can trust everyone. Yeah. I just submitted one. I mean, I guess I meant, what are the odds you read it? How long would it take? It's good. It's kind of up to my editors to decide based on like topic and stuff, which ones they find. So sometimes they can go back years. Sometimes they might be able to find something recently, or maybe even like a recent one inspires them to look for a generalized topic or whatever. Foam roll, then stretch. Oh yeah, dude, foam rolling on the lats feels really good, but also can hurt. I opened up my car door just as the guy was fully lit up by the headlights, and saw a man in a dark jacket and beanie waving and smiling, all friendly. Arizona nights get cold as heck, so I didn't think it was unusual that he had his hat pulled down to his brow and was all bundled up against that cold. Now, the first thing I said was, "Thank you so much," to which he replied, "No problem," and then asked me if I was having engine trouble. I told him I was, and that his timing was nothing short of a miracle, as I was on my way to work and in a real jam. He made some joke about how cars always pick the worst times to give you trouble like that, and then after explaining that he was a mechanic, he asked me to pop my hood so he could take a look at the engine. Now, once he'd opened up the hood, I joined him in taking a look at that engine, but like I said, I had next to no idea what I was looking at. There was this moment of awkward silence, and so I introduced myself to the guy. Now, he said his name was Clay, and we shook hands, and then he went back to staring at my engine for a couple of seconds under the light of a little flashlight that he had before he said something about how things weren't looking good. And when I asked him if he could fix it, or if I was better calling a tow truck, he told me to give him a minute, and then he went back to it. Hey Frost, what's up, bro? What's the strangest thing you found while walking along? Like on a walk? I'm not joking, but like some of my neighbors, I walked by the front of their house, and it's not too far from here, and there was just like, this was recent, this was like in the past couple of weeks, it was the most random things. Funny you asked that, but there was just like an animal's jawbone like sitting outside of their right in like the end of their driveway near their trash can, you know what I mean? And I'm walking, and the jawbone like looked to be like the long jawbone of either maybe like a dog or a deer or like some type of pig, maybe. I don't know. It was a long one. And I just thought it was like really, really strange. I'm like, why the fuck is there just a jawbone right there? Maybe some animal dragged a deer bone from somewhere else over there. I have no idea. But it looked like it was like stripped clean, like it was boiled or something, you know? So I thought that was very odd. I found handmade pillows on 2 separate occasions while walking. Handmade, interesting. Probably Easter lamb. That's probably fair. Just imagine, like, when you have Easter lamb, do you usually get access to the jawbone unless you get it right from the fucking butcher or something? I don't know. And do they give you the head? Just seems to me. What's your favorite topic? Which ones do you really enjoy? Honestly, yeah, just the paranormal ones are some of my favorite, because especially when they're good, they are like, to me, really good. But sometimes, I don't know, I feel bad. Like on my Patreon, somebody left a comment saying that the most recent paranormal ones were like some of the most boring stories they'd ever heard. And I'll be honest with you, sometimes we do get hit with that a little bit with the paranormal stuff, because it's like so hard to like get, because I mean, even any little paranormal experience you can have is going to feel very significant, but someone else hearing it can kind of be like you telling them about their dream. It's just like it's so subjective to the person experiencing it that it's not going to resonate, because you can't relate, right? If it happened to them, they wouldn't think it was boring. Yeah, exactly. Like that one story where the guy is a firefighter going down those steps and it's pitch black and he hears something be like, stop now, you know what I mean? Like that would freak me the fuck out in like pitch black. But obviously, since it doesn't like sort of manifest in anything like a movie or get any worse or feel like a big threat, it's just not gonna like make a lot of sense. Joe, I was checking out another live, but I'm back. Please forgive me. It's okay. I forgive you. Check out as many lives as you can. Tell them about one of the best storytellers on the net. Fragrance, thank you for the 2. Appreciate you. Because in every story I'm pretty sure I wouldn't survive. I know, right? Acknowledge my lats or I will throw up. Pradeep's got some good lats. Some thick boys. I mean, it depends also if you get into it or think it's not hitting for them, impossible that everyone will like it. Yeah. Am I a Mr. Nightmare fan? Yeah, I mean, like, Mr. Nightmare was an inspiration for the channel. The thing is I just, like, I do not, you know, I just don't really listen to this kind of stuff from my YouTube content. Hey, hi, how you doing? When I asked him if he could fix it, or if it was better calling a tow truck, he told me to give him a minute, and then he went back to it for a minute or two before exclaiming, "Aha!" Now, I've never understood car speak, and I guess that was written all over my face too, because the more he talked about what the problem was, the more he got this smile on his face. He cut himself off at one point and asked if I understood what he was saying, to which I obviously said no, and then told him how it was usually my boyfriend who dealt with all the car stuff and I just drove the thing. Now, the guy laughed and said something about how his wife was the same way, but then instead of trying to break it down so I could understand him, he kept on using all of those super technical words. Now, I guess this might sound kind of hard to describe, because how do you put a feeling into words? But the more the guy talked about what was wrong with my engine, the more I got this weird feeling that he was sort of making fun of me. I obviously didn't accuse the guy straight up. After all, I was still under the impression that he was doing me a favor, and figured that I was maybe just being paranoid. But then at one point, he used a word that in my head got me thinking, did he just make that up? Now I let him carry on talking for another minute or so, watching as this big grin grew on his face, and then he used another word that was so on the nose silly that I had to be like, wait, are you making fun of me right now? Now the guy who called himself Clay gave me this look like he was half hurt and half confused, as if to say, why the heck would I do that? And then right as I was about to apologize, he says, "Hey!" and then burst into laughter. He then admitted right to my face that the only reason he stopped was to, and I'm using his words here, mess with me. Now I half expected him to sort of actually fix my engine once he was done playing his little prank, but he didn't. He just kept on laughing like duping me was the funniest thing in the world. And then I remember asking him, "So, are you even a mechanic, or?" And he acted like that was a punchline to his whole joke. He took a few steps back, bent double. Bent? Oh. Bent? Maybe doubled over? I think the scariest stories you have read that traumatized you are the ones about the girls walking alone at night. I learned a lot of what not to do, yeah. Would you, Mr. Nightmare, do a collab like rappers? That'd be sweet, man. Maybe I could reach out to him or something. I don't know. Maybe there's like a way to... maybe he has like a sort of advertising group or something that can be reached or whatever. I was singing a random song to my cat and then it showed up on YouTube and Facebook. That's funny, yeah. I mean, they have a way of listening to your brain as well. The other day I woke up in sleep paralysis and the demon Lilith was talking in the kitchen while I was sleeping in the living room, and they are one big room, the other demon came. That's a lot of stuff. Do you watch a lot of YouTube in general? I do, yeah. I mean, it's just like random shit. Like I watch a lot of Hearthstone Battlegrounds to like sleep and that kind of thing. But then I also sort of, I'll watch just any sort of random fucking thing. Like a lot of like, I guess philosophy. I've been watching some of the Pokemon card stuff. I'll watch like YouTube drama slop stuff that just like means nothing and is pointless. Just really anything that pops up on YouTube. I don't have like specific people that I like look to as the, my god YouTubers or anything like that. Gonna do more paranormal. Yeah, definitely looking into it. Katie, what's up, dude? Unsolicited advice is a fun show. Yeah, I don't think I've seen that. What do you think? You give me an unbiased overview of who exactly he is and why people love him and some people hate him. Hassan? Let's see. He's a self-defined leftist, right? Which, whatever, that's like the political thing. I think it just comes down to the fact that he, so it's kind of like a cult-like mindset, right? Sort of like any deviation from what is perceived as leftism within their sort of circle, especially specifically to him, it's like if you don't sort of like kiss his ring, as sort of like one would do with like a war chieftain, he tends to sort of label anybody that, disagrees with him as like an outsider or a Nazi or, you know what I mean, like a generally reprehensible person, right? But it's usually very like intellectually dishonest in the manner. He's never like, reproaching or repositing, I guess, or fighting back against the ideas in which they may disagree with pertaining to him or any criticisms towards him. It's just sort of like using pejoratives and like straw men type arguments to kind of like basically debase people, to dehumanize any sort of opposition. And it's like a linguistic tactic that like most people with like a room temperature IQ can see as like basically just annoying as fuck. And unfortunately, it seems to be quite effective on the individuals that he has fostered within his circle that he's very, very capable as a like semi-cult leader within that political ideology to like mobilize those individuals to then harass anyone that brings criticism upon him, right? So, and any criticism, I mean, he's had a lot of controversies, right? It's just immediately poo-pooed off as like just meaningless and whatever, even though a lot of the times he's the one that shoots the first shot at most people, but then they respond and then he acts like, whoa, what did I do? So at the end of the day, I realize who gives a fuck, and he's just like a dumb retard on the internet. I don't care, there's a lot of those on the internet, but I think people kind of get obsessed with it because he's so fucking annoying, and so is his audience, right? With their repetitious sort of disparagement of people's characters. And yeah, it's just like, it really kind of just like takes politics to their fullest extent of absolute bollocks. You're right, it literally is bollocks, because you're never able to have a conversation. All it does is amplify this sort of like divisionary tactics. There's no conversation, there's no intelligent discussion. It's just morons being morons and then perpetuating that moronicness via drama. And it's just like he's very, very self-absorbed and disconnected from reality and hypocritical and just like whatever. And it's like, and that's not to say there aren't a ton of people just like that within the political spectrum. I mean, honestly, that's how probably most of them are, in a sort of narcissistic manner. They love to tell people how to think without any sort of degree of self-reflection, and any sort of like criticism levied against them is just cast away or brushed off or whatever. And so it's just like, whatever. Eventually you just have to kind of be like, okay, they're just dumb. They're just dumb people, and you can't fight against it, and you just got to ignore stupid, right? I think the only reason that those kind of voices carried so far for so long was the fact that like social media in the sort of realm in which a lot of like, low level people kind of have discussions, it was unfairly, those voices were unfairly amplified, or censorship was utilized against anyone that criticized that perspective for a long time. And it's really, really pervasive over on Twitch. Like, Twitch is one of probably the most censorious platforms that exist in the current form. That's not to say that it's not still prevalent on many other ones, but I mean, whenever you have a certain degree of like a bacterial perspective or a virus or something, and all you do is hurt your own immune system in its ability to fight back against those perspectives, or at least counter it, it's like you're just going to have that type of bacteria continue to proliferate and then never, kind of go unchecked for a long time. Do you have a favorite Twitch Kick streamer? I mean, I don't really watch Kick or anything like that. And whenever I watch Twitch, I'm just watching like Hearthstone Battlegrounds, and those guys are nice guys, the Hearthstone Battleground guys, but they're very boring, because they're just like nerds who just play a card game like myself, right? So, I'll watch Jeef. Jeef seems like a very nice boy, and there's a lot of similar ones. But I'll be honest, I don't really watch a lot of like Twitch, just because it's like, it's kind of, I don't know. Like, usually you tune into a Twitch stream, probably similar to how people feel tuning into my stream, and they might get really bored really quick, right? And it's, I don't know, maybe that's why I enjoy the more curated content of like YouTube, because you can kind of get to the highlights pretty fast or whatever. Hey, Sam. Oh, Brahmana. We had a massive thunderstorm come through Friday. The lightning was crazy. That's cool. Do you ever listen to your own stories, or is it weird hearing your own voice, half of them listening? I remember one time whenever I was having trouble sleeping, transitioning to a normal sleep schedule, I was listening to myself, and I'm not kidding when I said I like passed out in a really quick way. Did you watch Artemis 2 Re-Entry? I did not. No, I haven't been paying much attention to the moon thing, but I mean, it sounds cool. I like space, I guess. I feel like maybe we should focus on Earth a little bit, but it's cool to go up there once in a while. I keep getting banned everywhere for no reason. I'm not even saying anything cool. Yeah, man, it's just the realm we exist in. Everybody just sort of like over-regulates every ounce of like differing speech, and it's just how it goes, and you have to adapt and figure out how to, I guess, either move on to something else. Joel, are you more fascinated by the ocean or space? I mean, I guess the ocean has a lot more, like, life in it, but it does seem a little bit less accessible due to how pressurized everything is. But at the end of the day, how far into space do we really go? At least on the public level, I like to imagine we probably have the technology to take ET home, but maybe that's false thinking. I don't know. I can't fall asleep to your stories. They relax me, but I'm too interested in stories to keep myself awake listening to them. That's fair, too. We know more about the moon than the deep sea. True. I beat Resident Evil 9 on every level and unlocked everything. Now I'm bored. Yeah, what's the next game? Did you play through all the old Resident Evils? Ever done yoga? I did do yoga for a little bit. My flexibility is... it's okay, but it's definitely... I feel like, honestly, I wouldn't mind getting into yoga. Have you played Super Battle Golf? No, what's that? That sounds awesome. Didn't I do Ocean Stories years ago? I do believe, yeah. Did you hear about the twerking Mario on the moon? I did see that. How the fuck did they find that? Do me a favor, please say hi to my grandson Henry. I'd appreciate it. Hello, Henry. What's up, buddy? Does it feel weird sitting in your bedroom reading and talking to a monitor? A little bit, yeah. But sometimes it's kind of the same way that you sort of like lock into whatever stupid thing is on your screen, like while doom scrolling. You know what I mean? Like you're kind of like. Do you ever find yourself sort of hypnotized by what's in front of you? It's a little bit similar psychology to that, where I'm like seeing your guys' stuff come up on screen. I got the music, you know, the ambient music behind me, and it feels like I'm just sort of like pulled into this little realm, right, of actually communicating with people, which I am technically, but then whenever you kind of like, it takes a while for me to sort of like disconnect myself and realize that I'm like just saying something to nothing. I don't know. I feel like maybe I'm like more aware of you guys' presence, I suppose. I'm not sure. Working on beginner calisthenics, much more fun than yoga. That's cool, yeah. I mean, a combo of both, really, right? Would be sick. Okay. He took a few steps back, bent doubled over, and wheezed with laughter, and I had to stop myself from yelling about what an a-hole he was. I was mad as hell, like so angry I was practically shaking, because who the hell does something like this? But I was also aware that I was a 5'2", 101 pound. Deshia Ford, hopefully I'm saying that right. Deshia. Thank you for the 2. For the first time ever. What's up, Beth? Welcome. Good to see you. Welcome back. But I was also aware that I was a 5'2", 100-pound woman, alone on a dark road with a guy that was clearly getting a lot of joy of screwing with me. And all that came out of my mouth was, dude. And then I cut myself off because I knew it was either that or insult the guy so badly that he'd get mad and actually turn on me. No, then right as I pulled my phone out and I was about to dial 911 to report a breakdown in some freak... Then right as I pulled my phone out and I was about to dial 911 to report a breakdown and some a-hole harassing me, Clay spoke again, and he said something like, Okay, I'm not a mechanic. I admit it. I'm an artist. Now that was the angriest I got with him because I'm thinking, dude, for real? What the hell is wrong with you? Now his laughter slowly petered out and he raised his hand with the palms flat like he was about to apologize for something. But he didn't say sorry. Far from it. He then says, For real, I'm an artist, I swear. And then he started telling me how he made pretty pictures, but not for a living, just for fun. And then I remember how he said, word for word, that he would make a pretty picture by blowing your brains out all over the blacktop. And there was a shift right there. This horrible shift from him laughing, Jesus Christ. I understand how people can get mad at a person for wanting to connect with his followers. Well, I think people just like, they see the videos, right? And then they come in and it's not exactly like the videos. So it's like kind of feels like it's interrupting their expectation flow, which is like totally fine. It's kind of like, it's imagine you love the show The Boys, right? And then you go to see a Boys video, I don't know, something in the theater, but for some reason The Boys was like them recording it and doing behind the scenes. You'd be like, what the fuck is this, you know? So I can kind of get it, but I wish there was a continuity to it that actually made most people happy. Laughing should be a word, yeah. You laugh so hard you ting. Joel, I did 3.7 miles in 54 minutes. Nice, dude. Blazing trails. I couldn't tell a story like you. I would take more time editing my mess ups. It's okay. You get used to it. I mean, I still make like 100 mistakes every recording. There was a shift right there. This horrible shift from him laughing and me being angry to me being terrified and him enjoying it in this sick, sadistic way. Because right as I looked at my phone to dial 911, the guy pulled a gun from the back of his waistband and it pointed at me. Ah, not so fast. He reached for my phone and took it from my hand, sort of like, I'll take that. And I wanted to run, to scream, to do something. But I couldn't. The sight of that gun had me frozen to the spot like I'd suddenly turned to stone. It was cold out, really cold, and my brain was telling me, don't move a muscle, don't give him a reason. But still, the shakes started, and they got bad. When he said, keys, I was so shook up that all I could say was, what? And he went from amused to furious while shouting, keys! Where are they? I stammered out that they were still in the ignition of my car, and then after telling me that I was dead if I moved, he took them from the ignition and tossed them into the darkness of the road. And if that sounded like the perfect time for me to run, it wasn't. He kept the gun trained on me almost the whole time. If I tried to run, I'm 99% sure that I wouldn't be around to write this right now. He must have seen it written all over my face, sort of like, why did you do that? My car is busted. Why would you toss my keys away like that? And seeing it, the big grin found its way to his face again, and he told me how in that kind of situation, it's better safe than sorry. I didn't say a word in reply. I couldn't, not even if I wanted to. And as he slammed my car closed again, car door? Cador. Slammed my cador. Absolute shooketh. Keys. Hand your keys over. What's up, Catherine? Do you have a second mic for that? Second mic for what? Oh, almost gave me the hibbity-jibbities, but I'm pretty callous nowadays. Oh, it sounded legit. No, I just like pull myself away from the mic and like aim my voice to the side, and it allows me to be a little bit louder, I guess. Without like peaking the mic, you know what I mean? Toking a bowl after work, cause that sucked. Damn, what happened? What happened, twin? They on your ass again? They don't let you dig in that butt? As he slammed my car door closed again, he asked, who's going to miss you? And at first I thought he meant sort of like the folks at work. Like if I didn't show up, who was going to notice? So that's what I said. I told him the people at work would call the cops if I didn't show up, or at least call to tell them where I was. But that's not what he was asking. He was asking who would miss me if he killed me. I started to cry. I thought about my now husband recovering at home, wondering where I'd gone if no one found me, thinking that I'd sort of abandoned him because I couldn't handle taking care of him anymore. I've been picturing what it would be like spending the rest of my life with him, getting married, having kids, growing old together. So when Clay asked me the question, it was like my life flashed before my eyes, only not just the life I'd already lived, but the one he'd taken away from me if he pulled the trigger. I told Gay Clay, hey Nene, what's up, dude? Just housekeeping, so there's a lot of carrying heavy-ass bags of linen and making like 25 beds. Oh, damn, that does sound... I feel like you almost have to be careful in housekeeping in your own life to not bring, you know, what are they called? Bed bugs home to your own self. What's the last joke that made you laugh? Probably something racist. No, I'm just kidding. I thought I'm fairly sure I do sleep to some AI stuff because the words are never messed up, sounds human enough. Wait, though I'm fairly sure I do sleep to more AI stuff because the words never mess up, sounds human enough. I mean, you can listen to whatever you want, you know what I mean? Did anyone see The Drama with Zendaya and R. Pats? R. Pats. So weird. Zendaya was like hot shit for a long time, and then I feel like she just like fell off a cliff. She's so skinny. I feel like she needs to... I think she needs to gain 20 pounds of muscle. Not in like a steroidal way, but I just mean like in a healthy way. I think she needs to transform a little bit. That's none of my business, but that's my suggestion. This dude was just like deadlocked on me in my eyes early in the morning. I went deadlock as well. He didn't break the gaze at all, and I was like, what the fuck? Wait, what are we talking about? You still, after all these years, have the best voice out of the channels to listen to at night. Thank you. I'm trying my best to maintain it. Ariana needs to gain 20. Yeah, man. I don't even know. I don't even know what Hollywood is anymore, dude. I mean, she just seems like a kidnap victim, you know what I mean? Like, not, like, I feel bad. Like, she probably is, right? She's a childhood star. She clearly is, like, skinny enough to potentially be on, like, substance. Like, she's on a really strict diet of Ozempic and Steam and potentially some type of cocaine. Did I have a crush on Ariana Grande? I honestly didn't even, like, know that the show, what's it called, Inglorious or whatever the fuck it was on Nickelodeon existed, because I think that was, like, after my time of watching Nickelodeon. So, like, I had no idea she existed until she did, like, a music career. She was a musician. I've, like, forgotten about that, too. I know that sounds so stupid and obvious, but I don't know, there's so many, like, I feel like that, like, the past 10 years, not past 10 years, but, like, 10 years prior to 10 years ago, I was just, like, completely unawares of things. Maybe I was in a cryostasis. Sam and Kat. Oh, yeah, and fucking, I think, was she Kat or Sam? The blonde one, she had a whole book or something about, like, the abuse that was going on with the guy from Nickelodeon, the fat one, who likes feet. And I remember the first fucking time I watched an episode of Inglorious with my buddy and his kids, like, the first episode, they threw a shoe, the shoe fell in front of, like, a random homeless dude, and then he was like, "Can I keep this?" And they're like, "Sure." And then he just, like, takes a deep whiff of it and walks away. Now, I feel like as a kid, you wouldn't have picked up on that, but the fact that the very first episode I watched had, like, some Dan getting the Van Schneider, you know, feet sniffing, kink bullshit, it's just like, come on, man. I don't know. Oh, I'm Glad My Mother Died is the name of the book. That's right, yeah. I mean, yeah, think about it, like you really have to sit there and wonder at this point if you're one of the people that put your kids through childhood acting within those systems, unless they're absolutely protected the whole time, it really does border on the realm of abuse, right? You know? Joe, iCarly had a scene where Sam and Carly drew faces on their toes and had to wiggle them in front of the camera for like a minute straight. It's fucking insane. Like, even as a kid, you think eventually you'll be like, what the fuck is this guy doing with all the feet shit? This guy's a fucking fat freak. I mean, I'm sure they already knew that from other interactions. Who fucking knows? Her concert got blown up by ISIS or Iran or whatever, and she hasn't been the same since. Oh god, yeah, that would fuck me up too. I told Clay how my boyfriend would miss me, and then started explaining how he'd been in an accident, and how I'd been taking care of him, and how he needed me. But Clay cut me off by yelling at me to shut up, and how he wanted an answer, not my life story. I did as he told me, and then he says, "Who else?" And so I listed my family members, people at work, anyone I could think of. I kept thinking that if I kept on talking, I could buy myself enough time for someone to drive past us, notice what was going on, and call the cops. But it was like he knew no one was coming, because he took his sweet-ass time in pulling out a small notepad and a pen from his jacket pocket, keeping the gun on me the entire time. After he tossed them over to me, he told me to write down my goodbyes to the people who were going to miss me. I didn't. I didn't even touch the paper or pen he tossed down in front of me, not even when he yelled me to kneel down, and not even when he yelled at me to kneel down, and I did. When he kneeled. Okay, so he didn't do that, but he did kneel down. I don't know, that was a confusing sentence. Jerry's the only one who protect them from Dan or Dave. Jerry who? Jerry Seinfeld? I said episodes on Victorious where they put their feet in water so the fish could make their feet smooth. Man. Yeah, you'd think like anybody watching that show, I guess like if the kids are watching it, the parents aren't paying attention, like the kids aren't going to pick up on any of that patterns. Sounds like some lunatic online I've ran into. Sounds like a terrifying story. Mama Bear, strong arm. Welcome back for 5 months. Good evening, Butterscotch Cult members. Good evening. The one who played Crazy Steve in Drake and Josh. Crazy, was he the old? I don't even know. I know Drake and Josh, but what's your favorite Jell-O flavor? Jell-O, I guess orange maybe. But honestly, all of the colors are pretty cool. I didn't even touch the paper or pen he tossed down in front of me, not even when he yelled at me to kneel down, and I did. I figured that if I didn't go along with what he was telling me to do, he wouldn't kill me because his little plan wasn't complete. But all I could think to do to stall for time was beg him not to kill me. I tried focusing on the fact that my boyfriend needed me, that we couldn't afford at-home care, stuff like that. I told him he could take anything he wanted, and I meant anything he wanted, as long as he just let me live. I kept expecting him to yell at me again, to tell me to shut up, but he didn't. He got this sick smile again, and he just sort of listened as I sobbed and begged and sobbed some more. He didn't say a word until I asked why he was doing what he was doing, at which point he just said, "I told you. I'm an artist." I don't know why I was expecting him to say anything that made sense. Nothing else did. And then as I'm kneeling there with tears in my eyes, he did that thing with his gun that made it go click before it's about to shoot. I don't know what it's called, maybe locking or loading or cocking it back, but I was so certain that he was about to shoot me that I just shut my eyes. I couldn't look, but I couldn't move either. I just remember sobbing with my eyes clamped shut while begging him not to do it. But all he'd say was, "Open your eyes! Open your effing eyes!" while calling me all these vile things I can't bring myself to repeat. Now I tried that same tactic of sort of not doing what he said, because the more I delayed his plans, the more chance I had of someone driving past and calling the cops. But then, he said something that made it so I had to do what he said, like I couldn't physically stop myself. He said, "Open your eyes, or I'll make sure they never find you. I'll make sure he thinks you just left." I knew he was referring to my boyfriend, that he was preying on my own true weakness to get me to do what he said. I knew I should have kept on disobeying him, and I know that now more than ever. But at the time, in that moment, I couldn't stop myself. It was like that gun pointed at me was sort of like a magic wand or something, and my body overrode my brain. I opened my eyes, and the way he was smiling when I did, it was almost like it was burned into my brain. It was that face I had nightmares about for literally years afterwards, waking up in a cold sweat after seeing his teeth all jagged and messed up in my mind. I don't think they were actually all that messed up. It was just the way my brain kind of replays the image to match how terrified I was. But then, as I opened them, he said, "Look at me." And I did. He kind of pointed back towards his van and told me, "Now, smile for the camera." I looked, only for a second, but I didn't see anything. I guess it was too dark, as he might have been recording us with... didn't have... Oh. I don't know about Jell-O, but I had made scrambled eggs with cheese, a dash of vanilla extract, and pancake syrup mixed in. It was bomb. Damn, that sounds amazing. Vanilla extract and pancake syrup. Damn. I almost feel like you could make some dessert eggs with some type of, like, cream or puff or I don't even know, something to fluff them up. Fluff them up a little bit. Get them all fluffed up. Hot Cheetos and elote. What's elote? It's a Mexican corn. Street corn. Oh, okay. Oh, that does sound really good. I looked, only for a second, but I didn't see anything. I guess it was too dark, or whatever he was recording us with didn't have a telltale red recording light on it. And in fact, I don't even know if he really was making a video, or if what he was saying was just another way of messing with me. I guess he enjoyed my reaction though, because he started laughing again, harder than ever. But then even though he was laughing, I still felt sick with fear. I felt this weird relief as he lowered the gun and stopped pointing it at me. I don't fully remember the stuff that he said afterwards. It was all about how dumb I was or looked, how I was pathetic and a crybaby, all the stuff like that, and he said disgusting stuff about the things that he was going to do while watching the footage back, stuff that still sticks out more than the others, but I don't want to repeat for obvious reasons. I could barely move, I could barely speak, but I still managed one last, "Please don't kill me." And he gave me some speech about how it was better for him to leave me alive so I could spend the rest of my life living with the trauma of what had happened. He didn't say those exact words, it was way more protracted and drawn out, but that's essentially what he was getting at. Killing me would be more trouble than it's worth, leaving me with the memories with all the pain and the nightmares that was far more satisfying for him, and so that's what he did. He climbed back into his van and drove off again, but not without giving me a parting gift, one that'd make sure that I couldn't do anything immediately. He said he was going to make sure I couldn't go anywhere, which had me wailing because I thought, this is it. He's actually going to end me. But then instead of just shooting me, he ran up to me and hit me with the gun he was holding. And the hit broke my orbital socket, which explains why it was so painful. And I guess he was trying to knock me out, but it didn't work. I fell backwards, feeling the worst pain of my life throbbing through my head. It didn't knock me out, at least I don't think it did, but I knew better than to get up, run, or even move at all. I knew he wanted to knock me out so he could drive off without me running for help, and so to me, the best thing I could do was play possum and pretend that I was out cold from him hitting me. I remember quite literally begging God to make it a convincing act, to have him believe that I was out cold and I was going nowhere for at least a while. And the reason I still pray today is because it worked. I heard him laugh one last time, and then footsteps on the pavement, and after that there was a sound of a car door slamming, an engine starting, and the guy who called himself Clay took off into the night. I won't go into all the details of how I was rescued because it's mostly me walking along the side of the highway covered in blood, crying and shivering from the cold and the adrenaline dump until I saw headlights coming towards me. I was terrified at first, thinking it might have been Clay coming back to finish me off, but then when I saw it was an actual... need to get more Mexican food inside of Joel. This is true. Fill me up with Mexican shit. I had a sleepy time tea before, by the way. Not my first time. I just thought it would take longer to affect me since I drank coffee today after not drinking it for 3 days. Damn. What's up, C-Money? Actually, the orbital bone wouldn't go into your eyeball. It would just hit the optical nerves behind. Why change someone when you have... Why charge someone when you have a gun? Charge someone? No ammo? Question mark. No bitches? But then, when I saw it was an actual Good Samaritan, I burst into tears again out of sheer relief before I climbed into their passenger seat and they called the police for me. Gary, who will forever be my hero, waited with me at the gas station that we found while waiting for the cops and the EMTs to show up. And then it was a case of explaining what had happened, passing on as much detail as possible in the hopes that they might be able to find the guy. And after that, I was taken to the hospital for treatment, which is how I found something was... And after that, I was taken to the hospital for treatment, which is how I found out something was broken in my skull. And it was there that I waited for my boyfriend to show up, which he did, limping into the ward with a friend of his who had given him a ride at a moment's notice. And that was the icing on the cake, knowing the extent that he'd go to in order to look out for me. And within 18 months, we were engaged to be married, and then we tied the knot around 8 months afterwards once we had the money and the venue we wanted. It made up for the fact that that Clay person was never found, and I needed something to make up for it because for a long time I used to beat myself up for being able to recall his license plate number. Used to beat myself up for maybe not being able to recall. Oh shit. What's up, Bricks? What's up, Fry? Welcome, guys. Welcome to the freaking gun show. Lingua is definitely an acquired taste. Hell yeah. Hey Joel, I was curious if you got my email regarding the alien guy. Also just got back from the White Mountains. Fun trip. What was the alien guy thing again? Just finishing up my winter semester. Finals are this week. Only 2 more semesters left. That's awesome. I wish college didn't suck so much. Wish it was an enjoyable experience. Such a weird thing. Just like college, work. All just such like a miserable process. And it's like, if you really think about it, like there's like an island off the coast of India. Well, actually, I guess going more towards maybe like Malaysia or some shit. But anyways, you know, there's like random people on that island that if you go there, they kill you and they eat you, right? And it's like, why don't we just do that? I'm not saying you have to be a cannibal, but I'm just saying, like, who decided that going to college and getting a fucking shitty job was somehow better than just like living every day, day to day, waiting for invaders to come and just throwing a spear into them, you know what I mean? Senegal? It might be. I forget. Like, it's just, like, really strange, the trajectory that, like, you know what I mean? Like, the trajectory of life is so abstract and weird. It's, like, solely, primarily based on, like, pretty much whatever your parents did, right? Because they're the example that was given to you. But you really could just, like, you have free will. You can quite literally go do anything. You could jump on a train and just go as far as you can and then join the fucking circus. I mean, that would probably get annoying after a while, too. But you could... What other things could you do? You could... Well, yeah, that's pretty much the only 2 ideas I have right now, is join a circus or go to the cannibal island, or join the cannibals. Lift as much as you can. You can just keep trying to lift. Oh yeah, North Sentinel Island, that's right. Joe, would you go to college if you were in high school today? I mean, I still think my nursing degree does have value, so like, I probably would advise some people to go to nursing school, since it does get you a solid like middle class job. But it's hard to say, honestly. Like, if I would certainly, and I've said this for years, I wouldn't advise people to just go to college just cause. Maybe take that, that gap year, go do some fun shit, get it out of your system, and then go back to college. Like, have it planned that you're going back to college the next year, but maybe for something that actually is going to make you money. But even that, like, you don't even need to go to fucking college. I mean, just really think about what you're doing, because so many people, man, they get in $400,000 in debt for a job that doesn't even guarantee they're going to ever pay that back in their lifetime. Like, that to me seems like a broken system, right? Like, how does that, like, how, like, if you're looking at it from an investment standpoint, it's a terrible investment, right? Do you ever watch Studio Ghibli? If so, what's your favorite movie? Yeah, I mean, let's think. I mean, obviously Spirited Away is always up there. I still need to see Valley of the Wind, the one with the bugs. I don't know how I haven't seen that one before, but I heard it was one of the better, like the more interesting ones. Do you have a relationship with the techs at all? What do you mean, the techs? Like the ones that come around and take blood or whatever? I mean, they were always nice to me, but, they're like, hey, I'm going in here to bother 302 and get their blood, man. It's like they can't brainwash you enough, so you got to get money, get more, but pay for it. I know, I guess that is it. I mean, if you really think about it, like imagine that. Like, we have been brainwashed so hard that it's actually like an honor in some people's minds to be put into like debt slavery for the rest of your life. Doing something you don't even really enjoy. And then the fact that like a lot of people's lives just like don't really peter out to like what they actually want it to be. Maybe being in a relationship and having children that just like doesn't necessarily make you happy, or like it ends up getting divorced. And I'm not trying to talk negative. I'm just saying, like, it's strange that the trajectory that most of us kind of get like pushed down. I mean, I know this is like fucking 8th grade philosophy at this point, but at the same time, it's like, you really do have to wonder how we just kind of like casually go through the motions sometime, and never once do we ever develop a degree of sentience during the whole process where we're just like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, actually, what the fuck am I doing with my life? Why do I have to go here? I'm just going to develop like a drug habit or a fucking drinking habit while having to owe Bank of America money for the rest of my existence. Hey Julie, what's up, dude? Patrick Stewart does voice acting for that one. Interesting. Dude, I heard this could be incorrect, but I heard Crunchyroll is now using like AI for some of their voice acting stuff, and just like just automatically doing it with the lines that are translated, which sounds sad, I guess. I had a whole after college plans and backup plans, but didn't plan to get hit by a drunk driver. I had to abandon plans. I'm sorry about that. My dad was a teacher for 45 years and has to deliver groceries to get by. Rest in peace, the American dream. Please off me because he deserves to, or pisses me, sorry, Jesus Christ, pisses me off because he deserves to enjoy his retirement. Yeah, fuck. Yeah, Crunchyroll, isn't that just like a monopoly within like the realm of anime voice acting, all owned by Sony? Hi everyone, just a nurse coming off from being on call all week and love my work, love being here with everyone. That's good. Thank you. Blurb. There are plenty of teachers who work second jobs, so donate plasma. It sucks. Yeah. I generally don't think I could ever be a teacher. Just dealing with that shit all fucking day, man. It'd be so miserable. I mean, some people are really good at it and they have like good lives, and everyone loves to see them, but just different. Do people really think Joel is AI? I mean, probably not from the live streams, but I mean the narrations, it makes sense kind of. Do you ever read a story and get frustrated with the narrator? I've always been curious. Yeah, I mean, like, what do you like, making terrible choices, or just generally, I don't know, all sorts of stuff for sure. It made up for the fact that Clay was never found. And I needed something to make up for it because for a long time I used to beat myself up for not being able to recall his license plate number. The doctors said it was most likely a result of a concussion and that it was pretty normal for people not to be able to remember little details about an event that sustained The doctor said it was most likely a result of the concussion, and that it was pretty normal for people not to be able to remember little details about an event that they sustained a head injury in. But that didn't seem to sink in for me for a long time, and I used to cry sometimes, wondering why I was so dumb that I couldn't even remember the first letter of a number, just that dumb purple cactus that is on all the generic Arizona plates. I'm over it now for the most part. There's just one thing that still bothers me to think about on the rare occasion that it pops into my mind, and that's the fact that out there, somewhere, there's maybe a video of me on my knees, crying and begging for my life while some sick freak gets off on my fear. If that's true, and Clay's never been caught or punished for what he did to me, or has done to God knows how many others, then he might well watch it back sometimes, reliving those sick thrills that he felt the night he mentally tortured me on the side of a dark highway. Teachers are underpaid, especially dealing with kids nowadays. Yeah, I mean, I wonder how I guess it's just tough because I sit there and I try to remember like what generated the value of paying a nurse, right? And it's like, well, people always need healthcare. It is a product. Obviously, there's all sorts of like different influxes of cash. One of the things that could like increase like a nurse's salary, or not, nurse's wage, could be related to the usage of unions to like, negotiate those up higher. But then sometimes, it just really depends on where you go, or like, basically the determining amount for what the place generates as far as like wealth goes. But I guess with a school, it's like how much of those tax dollars are they receiving? Probably not. I mean, obviously it's just sort of a government institution in some weird ways, unless it's a private entity, in which case it would be even more competitive, I imagine, right? So like, how the hell do you negotiate those up other than something that's sort of like mandated, in which it's just going to increase taxes within the local area anyways? But I mean, maybe that would hold teachers to a higher standard as well. I don't know, man. It's like figuring out the economics for that is just quite strange. But I guess at the end of the day, you kind of wonder, what the fuck is school even? Just something to loosely keep kids busy so they don't kill each other or something. Hey Sharon, thank you for the 5 gifters to Jocelyn, 69 Gorgeous, Donna Lee, 97 Xbox Master, and Chelsea Grin. Welcome, friends. You now have access to bonus content. YouTube a bit funny in that it even asked me if B-Busta is AI. I said nope, and I never asked me about if Let's Read is AI yet. I'm sure you sound like a human being. Wait, it asks you? Wait, you're telling me that YouTube does questionnaires for its viewers to ask if the content you're listening to is AI? That's kind of fascinating. And then it probably just does like a collation of data. How old am I? I'm 35. I'll be 36 in June. Like 2 months. I'll be 36. Crazy. Major unk status. Can't teachers use cattle prods for disrespectful teens? I mean, I guess they could give it a whirl. Probably shouldn't. Property taxes. This is why mine are so high, and I was a teacher. Ugh. Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't really want to pay more. I don't know. I don't really want to pay more. I feel like you should only have to pay into it. Well, I don't know. Like, what if you just like switched all the schools to like a private schooling entity? Well, that wouldn't matter. How would you switch all of them? You wouldn't be able to do that. I have no fucking clue what different approaches you could do to make schooling, like the pay better, but also the value that the kid gets from there better, because it's all just like philosophical. You were 32 when I started listening to your channel. Yeah, it's crazy. Drinking on the jarb. Drinking a little kombucha. Mike and Ike. Oh shit, Mike and Ike with the 17 months. What up, Joel? Sorry for coming in late. How many stories do you have left for the night? We got 2 more, dude. Good to see you. I think college should be free like high school. Yeah, but it's just like there's already like such a massive economy, you know, sort of soaring around that I don't know, what would the economic effects of, like, how would you charge the taxpayer and how much would it cost? I mean, based on how expensive college has gotten with its sort of like semi-private, semi-government funded state, all from like banks and loans and, you know, grants and, you know, just so much money flows in and out of there. That like economy in and of itself would be completely interrupted by some sort of subsidized process that you have to wonder if like the quality of the education would go up, or if it wouldn't even be allowed to be, like, I don't know. I have no idea, like, where things would be shifted to. Wait, so you didn't just stay 32? I guess not. I mean, I don't think I've changed much since, I don't really think I've changed much since fucking, like, 27. Still look the fucking same, still act the same, still pretty much retarded. PhD in basket weaving and dance theory. That's what I went for. And it should be fucking free. In Australia, because of the cost of living, the government took off like 20% of all student loans. Yeah, I guess everything else just shoots up in some roundabout way. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and act like I know what the fuck I'm talking about when it comes to economics, but you know, like, you move one gasket over here, one pressure valve, and things move over there, you know. Something's got to change, right? Do you have a skin routine to stay young, or do you use sunscreen every day? I don't really use sunscreen, but I mean, I do, you know, cleanse my face, exfoliate, and, you know, do like a clear gel moisturizing routine of sorts, and basically American Psycho style. David, thank you for the $1. I know in Mexico you have to pay to enroll your kids into each school year. Yeah, I mean, maybe like once again, coming down to the taxpayer, but maybe for the individual, you know, parents who have students, if they all paid in through some type of due system that was separate from like the tax systems. But then would that be an opt-in thing or legally mandated? I have no idea. Do you think you're cuter now than you were as a senior in high school? I guess like more manly maybe, or something like that, you know, like just more muscles, more like, you know, man-esque or whatever the fuck you want to say, you know. It was very boyish, I guess, like had a boyish charm back then, and things have definitely changed. When I can't find my bird, Elbort Maksoof, I turn off the strobe light and dance around shouting, Sufi, Sufi, Sufi. Fuck yeah, dude. You were a pretty bull in high school. That's fair. I'm straight up GQ model, yeah. Strike a pose. Bum, ch, bum, ch, 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 bum, bum, ch, ch, ba, ba. Well, that's the thing too. It's like how, like, we can sit here and speculate on like where we could allocate taxes, but the fact that, you know, like hundreds of billions of dollars are just like siphoned somewhere for like laundering money or tax fraud or whatever, you know what I mean, in like weird systems. That's the strangest thing to me. Just like how much of it is like completely wasted in places like we can't possibly understand. Yeah, like funneled through war, like I don't even know. I remember someone made a good point that they thought the majority of like the Cold War was just like reallocating funds elsewhere, that all of it was to like, you know, quote unquote, like all the war spending was to like fight against the Soviets and the possibility of the nuke. But I mean, isn't that how they always do it? They sit there and fill your brain with like some fear of some invisible enemy, and then but we need to increase taxes, or we need to, increase funding over here, but you have no fucking clue where any of that goes, right? It's not, you're not in charge of it. You don't get to do the audits. Even the people that say they are doing the audits just like make you mad and probably just take the data and put it into AI somewhere to kill you later. Lynn, thank you for the 2, says, saw a sign that said, pray the government makes holy decisions. Yeah, holy retarded. I don't know, man. You just got to look out for yourself. That's all you can do. Hey, Joel, I passed all my state exams for your CNA classes. Nice, Summer. Congratulations. You look better in your 30s for sure. It's all good. Sometimes it's like the cool thing is once you, like, forget, you know what I mean? Once you can, like, escape the feeling of being concerned about one's looks, then you can kind of focus on the fun stuff, like wood whittling, or maybe writing a children's book. I kept shouting, where you at, Elbort next scoof, for like an entire... do you have a bird? I didn't even know you had a bird. Why are we talking about a bird? I feel like I missed that. My alma mater spends millions on new student luxury dorms. From what I heard, prices went up after singles became doubles, doubles became triples. Right, I mean, like, they're always going to find ways to continue to increase tuition every year, but the thing is like, I feel like we just need to educate young people into realizing what a fucking drag it is to pay $1,200 a month in student loans for, while still being a bartender. Like, how many of your friends went to college, got 4-year degree just because they didn't know what else to do, and then now they work as a bartender, as a server, like 6 jobs, and their degree is completely worthless, right? So, I don't know. I think the supply and demand of college should eventually catch up to itself as time goes on. I imagine enrollment is slowly going to have to go down just based on philosophy at this point, or some degree of recognizing the economics as the generation who went through it and didn't get a job eventually like tells the truth to their kids, because in the past everybody's parents told them that college was the only way, but now it just doesn't carry the same weight, obviously, right? Divine Jupiter, thank you for the 8 months. Has ever considered doing voice work for audiobooks or anything? Would be cool to see. I thought about it, but it just comes down to like time, and is the time, you know what I mean? Like, is it worth more time to me to like make a video on YouTube than it is to record J.R.R. Tolkien's newest story about elven pubic hair? It's kind of a no-brainer. And you got to pay those student loans for a long time, especially if you make the bare minimum payments. I've seen folks pay it back several times over and still owe. Right, I mean, the interest accrues, right? That's the unfortunate thing. It's like, where do you lock in your loans each time with interest? It's just, it fucking sucks, man. You might as well just like have a really cool idea that you like throw yourself into wholeheartedly for 4 years post-college, and at least you'll, at least you might be doing all right once it works out. I think you do well at radio dramas. I mean, they would be fun. I mean, I've worked with like the No Sleep podcast. That was super fun, doing like character work and voice acting and that kind of thing and stuff like that. I might, end up on there again at some point. I got a semi-retired autism service dog. Since he's here at home by alerting me when someone calls me or something beeps, but don't take her out with me. Oh, you should bring her with you. Okay, sorry. Anyways, story 2. Did you watch the Sabrina Carpenter and Justin Bieber Coachella performances? No, I just don't give a shit about Goy Slop anymore, man. It's just so boring to me. I've been playing Super Meat Boy 3D, and that's like all I need in my life. My name's Andy. I'm a professional videographer, and my fiance likes listening to your podcast while she cooks. Now, I've heard 1 or 2 absolute banger stories, and although my fiance doesn't have anything to contribute, thank God for that, I do. Because even though I've filmed in dangerous high crime, yeah, I'm streaming live from Coachella right now. Just get a useless philosophy degree like me and then do whatever you want because hiring managers in every field think philosophy is cool and they are too scared to ask you what you actually studied. Yeah, I knew someone who went to school for philosophy and then they said that they were going to get a law degree or some shit like that, and then they didn't, and now they're over in Europe just like backpacking around or whatever the fuck, taking drugs. Who gives a shit, right? You know? This is Joel Cella. Hell yeah, dude. Everybody take your clothes off. Yeah. I wish I could, but my day program don't allow dogs, and the only way I can take her out is like my little sister, and we do take her to the park and run around, so she does get out sometimes. That's good. Have you guys been watching Love on the Spectrum at all? I watched about half an episode of episode 1, and it is so much better than The Boys season 5. It is so much better than all the other shit that's out right now. Like, it's, I don't know, reality TV somehow just trumps written TV at this point. Because even though I've filmed in dangerous high-crime areas of the US and UK, as well as many, many conflict zones all over the world, nothing has frightened me like what happened at an old Welsh castle one night back in 2009. So, back when I was still freshly graduated, I used to advertise on Facebook and in newspapers. I mostly did stuff like weddings and secondary school dances, low-level stuff for what I considered to be reasonable prices. But then one day, I got a message from a guy that immediately piqued my interest. Because instead of being soon to be married or a secondary school's head of year, this guy's profile said he was a paranormal investigator. Sixth form dances are nice, but trust me when I say that you can only do so many before they get a bit boring. There's also weirdly... My mom keeps telling me to watch it. I haven't yet still. It's so good, dude. Love on the Spectrum is like one of those shows where you're going to be like laughing, you're going to like love all the characters. They're very endearing and funny. You know what I mean? It's just a good time all around. They say some of the funniest shit I've ever heard. I used to say that I wanted to do law. That was a lie. It was just the easiest thing to say when people ask why I study philosophy. The real answer is not as productive and impressive. Yeah, you know, that's the thing. It's like in life, you know, you sometimes, like, you know what I mean? Nobody ever asks the people on Sentinel Island, like, what they want to do while they're, like, eating someone's bones, right? You know, like, nobody really cares about the cannibals or whatever. Nobody ever asks people who live in the sewers of New York, like, what they're going to do after they graduate. Like, sometimes that's just what it means to be human, is that you exist and you eat food, you shit, and as long as you don't get in the way, I think you're doing okay. Joel, did you enjoy your Australia trip? It was fine. Just kind of like whatever. It was the trip back was really fucking long and tedious, and it was like 48 hours, no sleep. I was exhausted. A task is like how my girl alerts me to beeps, my running to me and pawing me, or lay down on me to apply pressure when I'm anxious, light pressure therapy, stuff like that. That's cool. I have a BS in science too, and the acronym should let you know how much I really care for it, right? Yeah. A bachelor's of science. Hey, Lynn, thank you. Lynn, I forgot to send you Pokemon cards, but, man, I should go bring my set and tell you which ones I have. Who was my first celebrity crush? Probably Topanga. She was a beauty. Fly all the time for work, it sucks. Yeah, flying is exhausting, and then imagine, you know, it gets like slowed down. I don't know, there's something about like going through airports where you just feel like nobody on earth gives a fucking shit about you. Like, there's this like realization where you're on your phone and everything kind of makes sense in your own little compartmentalized world, but then as soon as you get around like other human beings, you're just like, you guys could watch me being absolutely devoured by cannibals on Sentinel Island, and none of you would stop to even spit on my corpse. Wait, you send Pokemon cards? No, I don't mean send. I just meant like the picture of, like, out of curiosity if any of them are good. How do I sign up to get Pokemon cards from? No. Joel wanted to say goodnight. My endometriosis made me get a leg amputation. I need to get company. Oh my god, I'm sorry to hear that. How much left of the stream? We're on story 2 of 3. She taught herself the hearing task, by the way. She got tired of my BS, I guess, and took my hearing in her own paws. Wow. Why is Joel being eaten? I don't know. That's just my hyperfixation for the night, is the fact that there's a cannibal island that somehow we, like, loosely protect for some reason, it seems like, through tax dollars. I feel like I, like, heard about that somewhere, that island we send to, like, the Indian Navy to, like, protect it or whatever. But it's like people wash up there and they get eaten. We're like, we need to protect that. Those are the native people and they have the right to rip us to fucking shreds like 28 days later. Spidey, welcome to the Butterscotch Cult. You now have access to bonus content. I got pulled out of the line by TSA my first time flying because I had a cigarette before I went through the scan and it showed up on my palm. Interesting. Yeah, I remember going through like to the DR and there was like it was so ridiculous. There was a fucking, like a yellow square right on my crotch. So like the dude had to like reach around my fucking jonk. My jonkly. My jonk and taters. My doctor recommended to fix my problem with the neck amputation. Yeah. We'll do that right here for you. We'll do assisted death and dying. I'm actually deaf, by the way, partly so hearing tasks are helpful since I'm deaf as an 85-year-old. Damn. Wasn't there a missionary that went to that island and got killed? He was warned the whole way and didn't listen. I think I heard about that too. He's like, I gotta bring the message of Christ to them. And then his head ends up on a pike. So, needless to say, he got to be with Christ, you know. He got mission accomplished, I guess. They're an untouched society. They'll die if people visit via diseases. Yeah, but who gives a shit? If they're like eating people, isn't that like kind of an act of war in some way? I'm not saying we got to go out of our way and like nuke them. I'm just saying, like, if you know the end goal is just them ripping you into shribbies, like what? Like, I don't want my tax dollars going to like protecting something that just like does not matter. They're also weirdly hazardous because a drunk sixth former can cover an impressive distance with their projectile vomit, and while it makes for a fantastically disgusting photo, the last thing I want to do is spend the wee small hours cleaning spew off my expensive camera. Now, the same applies to weddings. Some people think that they're Martin Scorsese after a couple of drinks asking, let me have a go then. And then they drop And then they almost drop your camera on the hardstone floor of some rental country house. And that's half the reason the job interested me so much. It'd be the same pay for the same time, but it'd be in a sober environment with a guy who claimed to hunt ghosts for a hobby. Now, I know his family quite well these days, so I don't want to name and potentially embarrass him, so I'll just call the guy Ray, which is the first non-silly name I could really think of. Ray seemed a bit quirky. I mean, a person has to be a bit quirky to call themselves a paranormal investigator, but he also seemed really nice. He explained how the job was at Kidwelly Castle. Kidwelly Castle. Kid Stinky Castle. Whoops. What the flurp? What the? What? Oh, never mind. I was scrolled down. My bad. Oh, whatever. Does Kidwelly Castle sound like the name of it? Has anyone ever tried a DiGiorno breakfast pizza? They're so freaking good. Oh my god, yeah. It's not delivery. It's DiGiorno. DiGiorno. Does anyone here make homemade pizzas? You finished Hogwarts Legacy. Nice. How was that? Listening with the family. Nice, Batman. Good to see you. Welcome, family. This stream is rated X. Sorry, just kidding. I haven't heard about cannibalism. They did kill that Christian man who wanted to convert them. India pays for their protection. Yeah, it's just strange. I wonder why, I just feel like, why would India... I mean, I guess if India is getting paid to do something, they'll do what you say, but it just seems like, why does India even give a shit? They'll protect, some random cannibalistic tribe on an island, but they won't protect any of their waterways from fucking 10 trillion tons of trash just floating through it at all times. You want to make a pizza fire pit out back? That sounds yummy. He explained how the job was at Kidwelly Castle in Wales, which was about 2 hours' drive from where I was based at the time. But Ray said that he was willing to pay for my petrol and an overnight stay in a local... Come on. But Ray said he was willing to pay for my petrol and an overnight stay in a local B&B, which he assured me wouldn't bite into his budget too badly. Now, he was a wealthy guy apparently, operating a large cleaning business in the day while indulging in his preferred hobby of ghost hunting on weekends. Now, I didn't believe in ghosts at the time. I still don't. But like I said, I reckoned hanging around with a ghost hunter and his crew would make for an interesting job, and it did, in a manner of speaking. Just not in the way that I first thought it would. So Ray's team consisted of himself, a personal assistant named Sophie, and a technician named Phil. I put technician in quotes because I don't mean to sound disrespectful here or anything, he just wasn't anything of the sort. He had a few weird-looking detectors with him, things that measured air density or electrical signals, but when I asked how they worked and how they'd help us find ghosts, he gave me a kind of jimble-jamble response that made it clear that he had no real clue. None of that bothered me in the least bit, though. He was a lovely person, just like Ray and Sophie were, and since they were paying me, I was only too willing to provide the best camera work possible, while hopefully having something of a laugh while doing it. I drove out to Wales early on Saturday afternoon, and then arrived at Kidwelly on the south coast of Wales just in time for a late pub lunch. And then after a slow pint, Ray and his team arrived and I joined them on the short drive up to the castle. Built by the Norman invaders, it's in ruins these days, and for good reason, because as Ray quite accurately informed me, it was the site of over 200 years' worth of battles between the Normans and the native Welsh. It was built, attacked, taken, retaken, besieged, relieved, and then finally destroyed. And while Ray had no doubt the ghosts of dead soldiers reenacted those ancient battles on near... and while... Dude, I feel like I keep feeling fucking spiders on my neck. 10 out of 10 for the Hogwarts fandom. It was a great game, not a cash grab. You could tell it was done by, yeah, that's good to hear. It definitely seemed like a really polished game, even appealing to people who aren't really into Harry Potter and stuff. Can someone pee for me real quick? My roommate's been hogging the bathroom for the past 30 minutes. I'm about to blow. North Central Island is a restricted 15-square-mile island in the Andaman Archipelago, India, home to an uncontacted tribe of roughly 180 to 150 people. It does sound like a great place to base a freaky movie, you know what I mean? Some type of horror movie or horror story. Can you start story 2 again? I wasn't listening. Yeah, we'll start it over here. I'm scared of being a competent professional amidst some freaks that think they own the world. It's alright, man. Sometimes you just gotta do it. And then just suddenly blow up one day on them. Nope, sorry, Ricky. We're starting the whole thing over. Just for you. And while Ray had no doubt that the ghosts of dead soldiers reenacted... Oh wait, hold on a sec. Reenacted those ancient battles on a nearby nightly basis. They weren't... Oh, okay. And while Ray had no doubt that the ghosts of dead soldiers reenacted those ancient battles on a near nightly basis, they weren't our reason for being there. Now, I apologize in advance for the name, and it'll no doubt cause you a bit of trouble pronouncing it, but I'll try and help you out a bit. According to Ray, we'd come to Kidwelly to hunt the ghost of Gwenllian Vergriffith. If a fat man tells me what to do, I'm going to flip out. I think it's mainly because they're so untouched by essentially everything, kind of looking to our past, I guess. Yeah, I guess that does make sense, yeah. But if they eat my mom, I'm coming. Me and an army of one cat will arrive at that island wearing a suit of armor and a fucking machete, and we're going ham. Rupee, welcome back for 36 months, says, yo, Joel, 36 months, bro, hope all is well. If you don't mind me asking, what happened to Twist of History? Very enjoyable. Yeah, it was just, contractual stuff, and that's pretty much just it, you know what I mean? Like, there's budget cuts that happen, and all sorts of things that, back-end stuff that gets switched around, and, shows get cut, and that's just how it goes. I had fun while doing it, and I have, nothing but the highest regards for the team and Mr. Ballin and everybody over there. So yeah, it's just kind of, honestly, it's like I was saying, like, it's probably for the best in the sense that now I have more free time and more appreciative of what I have over here or whatever. And yeah, I'm hoping everything good for John and all of that as well. I know he's, it's a lot of stuff to manage, man. That's a lot of pressure. You sound very smart when you talk. Oh, thanks, man. I'm a fucking genius, bro. I've seen the future with just my brain. Just kidding. All right. According to Ray, we'd come to Kidwelly to hunt the ghost of Gwenllian Vergriffith, a 12th century Welsh princess who led a rebellion against the Normans. Now, I'm not some history buff. I have no idea who he was talking about or how to spell or pronounce her name, but as Ray told me her story, I was captivated. Apparently, Gwenllian was the great-great-great-granddaughter of the High King of Ireland, and her beauty, along with her skill with words, inspired many a man to follow her into battle. She gathered up an army to attack Kidwelly Castle and won herself a couple of battles in the surrounding area. But one thing the Normans were never short of, thanks to constantly conquering and absorbing other forces, was men. And so when she and her army finally marched on Kidwelly itself, the Normans were ready for them, and after her soldiers were soundly beaten, the Normans took Gwenllian captive. Now here's where things get dark. After the Normans captured Gwenllian, they went to make a... I'm addicted to the Cheesecake Factory bread, it's so good. Cheesecake Factory bread, damn. That'd be kind of funny if a streamer's name was Phoop. P-H-O-O-P. What's up, guys? It's Phoop. What kind of stuff would Phoop stream? Probably Roblox. Hey guys, welcome back to Phoop. After the Normans captured Gwenllian, they wanted to make an example of her, and so with all her surviving soldiers gathered in a field not far from the castle, the Norman commander condemned her to death by beheading. I pictured an old wooden block and a big executioner's axe, like how Sean Bean gets a little off the top in the first season of Game of Thrones. Spoiler alert. But according to Ray, that's not how it happened. A Norman soldier, right there in front of all of Gwenllian's men, took a dagger from its sheath and sliced through her neck so slowly that she drowned in her own blood rather than enjoying a quick and painless death. When the dagger reached Gwen's spine, it wasn't sharp enough to cut through, so the soldier resorted to twisting and poling, breaking the wretched woman's neck before he quite literally tore her head from her shoulders. And by the end of his retelling, I remember thinking, no wonder the poor woman's spirit can't rest, and Ray agreed. He said her ghost still wandered the castle walls, racked with the guilt of failure and plagued by the agonizing memory of her own brutal execution. Now naturally, Ray thought that his best chance of getting an actual ghost documentation, as in like recording one on camera, was a night in Kidwelly Castle. I told him I couldn't promise anything, as I had no experience or belief in recording otherworldly spirits, and so he assured me that that wasn't a problem. All I had to do was stay close, do as he asked, and point the camera where needed. Everything else was on him. Now to my surprise, Ray was actually really professional. He had ideas for scenes, he had little speeches memorized when he hit different parts of the castle, and he even had us rehearse little drills for whenever Phil, the tech guy, got readings on his instruments. I was impressed, like really impressed, and as the sun went down and a shooting started, it felt more like we were making a proper documentary than just filming an amateur ghost hunt. They had a lot of fun doing it too, and that definitely transferred onto the footage. I remember thinking their viewers must have had a lot of fun watching, but in terms of seeing any actual ghosts, no prizes for assuming we didn't see any. Now, we made our way around the castle grounds, with Ray talking about all the various battles they'd been fought over the years, and the fucking favorite YouTuber named Foop. Wait, what did you guys say Foop does? Foop is my younger brother. Yeah. Boop and Foop. Foopas. Well, welcome back, Foopas. Maybe instead of Buttersock called, I should call you guys my Foopas. What's up, Foopas? Go see for yourself. There's a professor from Alfred University and a Dr. Toot. Yes, go confirm it. I know it's funny and you don't believe me. Go look. Oh, that's right. I'm Foof. Foopa. They play Minecraft. His cousin is Foop. Foop saved my family from a burning building. This is true. This is the kindest YouTuber. He didn't even record it during it, so you know it's legit. Foop does Tuvan throat singing. Never heard of the Tuvans. Who are the Tuvans? Okay. We made our way around the castle grounds, with Ray talking about all the various battles that had been fought over it, as well as all the brutal beheading. Ah, my Goombas. What's up, Goombas? We'd made our way around the castle grounds, with Ray talking about all the various battles that had been fought over it, as well as the brutal beheading of Gwenllian. But like I said, there were no real ghosts, no orbs, or no unusual readings on any of Phil's equipment, and we made it all the way up to the battlements, which by that point was just a small stretch of walkway hemmed in by iron railings for safety, accessible by a spiral staircase that was as deep as it was narrow. And before we went up, Ray instructed Phil to do a loop on the castle at ground level with his equipment, just to see if there were any readings he might have missed. And after that, me, Ray, and Sophie ascended the stairs, very carefully I should add, and then started to shoot a scene on the battlements. It was obviously dark out, but my camera's light illuminated the battlements quite nicely, and we ended up with a really nice shot as Ray pointed off into the field and spoke about the spectral battles that locals claimed to see. It was all a load of bollocks if you ask me, but I wasn't there to pass judgment or offer an opinion. I was there to shoot, nothing more, nothing less. And so when Ray suddenly stopped talking in the middle of a sentencing, you have been sentenced to write a whole sentence. No grammatical mistakes will be made. Oh, the retards. Oh, that's right. The retard cult. Oh, man. You fucking potato. Oh, man. I need to be reassembled. Every bone in my body. Let's get on steroids. I am taking peptides again. I'm not advising anyone to do it. I'm just, I'm taking a combination of BPC 157, TB 500, and GHK copper or some shit. And it's called the Glow Stack. I'm basically turning myself into a super soldier. The Pepsi Tides, yeah. I go into like every morning there's a pool of Pepsi that washes up based on the, how close the moon is to Earth. And I just sit there and bask in the little pools that remain. Tren is not your friend. No, I would never advise anyone to take any sort of exogenous hormones, nor would I advise anyone to take any peptides without, consulting with the doctor. But that being said, have to do peptides under the skin with a needle, otherwise totally inert. That's what I use, the subcutaneous. But yeah, it's basically like you do it in the belly, kind of like an insulin needle or whatever. But the idea being that like the BPC and the TB500 are supposed to like help, because I have made a lot of progress with my shoulder, but there was having some issues getting back into it, so I'm just like, you know what, fuck it. And then adding the copper peptide into it too to help with skin, I'm just like, fuck it, I want some delicious, amazing, youthful, glowing, forever skin. I'll take it. I'll be Mr. Krabs. Wait, do I lift? Yeah, I like to lift weights. I lift like 4 days a week just to kind of, maintain muscle and be swole as heck. What does a peptide even do? So a peptide is just like a synthesized substance that originally was, at least with the BPC 157, was found within the stomach lining. And basically your body would naturally release this peptide within the stomach lining as the acid starts to break down, starts to break down the stomach lining, and it has to rebuild itself very quickly. So they're able to find out that's what it did, and then they were able to synthesize that compound and then basically inject it into rats. And they found that rats who had completely severed, not saying this would work on humans, but they do some pretty crazy shit to rats sometimes, sadly. And they severed the rat's Achilles tendon, injected them with the fucking peptides, the BPC 157 along with the TB500, and then it's apparently the rat just completely regenerated its ligaments. And so that's kind of where the peptide that specific peptide works on, is the soft tissues within ligaments within the body. So it's pretty neat. And from a lot of it's still experimental, not even specifically FDA approved, I don't believe, hence why I'm just kind of hoping for the best. But I mean, everybody's anecdotal experiences with it seem to be pretty cool. And it's not an exogenous hormone, so it's not like your body's just gonna shut down making it after you stop, from what I hear. Once again, not medical advice, just giving it my best. What's up, Alyssa? How you doing? Got a J rolling. That's good to hear. Pradeep is spamming the chat, trying to act like a bot. Where's Pradeep? I can't even see him. Beep beep 157. Beep beep. Beep 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 beep. I used peptides and growth factors on my skin for over a decade. It keeps me fresh. I don't know about the injectable muscle stuff, but why not? Well, it's wait, so what peptide? Oh, peptides, the topical treatment. Yeah, I've heard some pretty good peer-reviewed stuff for the GHK, copper, or whatever. Maybe I'm saying it wrong, but or GK, I forget what it was. But the copper supplement, utilized on topical skin treatment seems to be good for cell turnover and good skin. But yeah, in this case, it would be a subcutaneous injection. But you said you've used it for over a decade, or what specifically? The peptides they're pretty expensive, and they're the couple $100s for a 5-week treatment, I guess you could say. Can you just take it as a prophylactic? Yeah, I mean, there are people that say they take the BPC honestly as a maintenance thing. You sometimes want to, they suggest taking 5 weeks off to help your body kind of deregulate to it, I guess, or kind of almost like taking a break from marijuana or whatever. But $500 a month, holy shit. I mean, not a month, it's I forget how much. I feel it was in the couple $100 for a 5-week treatment or whatever. Hey Joel, a little behind on the stream, but I just wondered how you feel about the potentially that the Sentinel Islanders are happier than we are since they don't know what they're missing out on. Well, that's what I said. That's what I was saying earlier. Like, why the hell do we go to school? Why the hell do we go to college then after? And then why the hell do we get some dumbass job and then have to, like, get married and, you know, just live, like, this picture-perfect life of what culture determines? It's like you literally could just be a cannibal on an island and still live out your life, and it's just kind of like whatever. Joel, what game are you currently playing? Don't say Overwatch. No, I've actively done a really good job at never playing Overwatch, but I am playing Super Meat Boy 3D, still playing a little bit of Arc Raiders. Someone in here, you know, went and found me a Osprey blueprint, but I still haven't been online in time to actually catch them, so I'm sorry about that, but hopefully I can do that soon. I got some good advice for those who want to go to bed when itchy butthole will wake up with a stinky finger. It's to fund the economy with our smirts. I don't even know what's being said right now. I gotta get my membership back on. My kid got me with the Roblox purchases, so it's all good, no worries. Roblox is way more worth it. Do you play Marvel Rivals or College Football or Madden? No, I mean, I played a little bit of Marvel Rivals, but I think it, like, whereas, like, Overwatch you can kind of carry, Marvel Rivals requires, like, way too much, like, team focus to, like, kill people. Which, you know, makes it a team game, but I just feel like it's not a very well-balanced game. Like, somehow Overwatch is better balanced than Marvel Rivals. Because at least you can, like, get kills individually. Like, if I'm whittling down a tank as Anna, I can win that matchup. Like, I'm not joking. Like, I could win a matchup against a Reinhardt, shoot him a few times, get him low, he's got his shield up, I can roll up, you know, get behind his shield, and then before he swings, sleep him, and then, you know, throw a grenade down, shoot him once, do a melee, you know what I mean, one of those combos, and all of a sudden Reinhardt's dead. But in Marvel Rivals, if you were ever, like, you can't even do damage as a healer most of the time. I mean, you can, but, like, it's just, the game moves so quick and positioning is so important that you can't, like, by the time you even have a chance to get close, their healers have already healed them to 1,000% health, so you're just like, I don't know, the game fucking sucks. I fucking hate Marvel Rivals. It's terrible. I mean, it's cool, but they just need to balance it like Overwatch. I'm sorry to say it, but they need to balance that game like Overwatch, or it will forever just be the most frustrating, toxic game of all time. Because, like, needing everyone on your team to, like, lock in on one person is impossible. Nobody even, like, comms in that game, so what the fuck do you expect? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong, I don't know. I've never played Dead by Daylight, but my one friend plays it all the fucking time. So when Ray suddenly stopped talking in the middle of a sentence and looked out into the dark field away from the battlements, I did nothing but keep filming him. With his flair of dramatics and not believing in any of that ghosty stuff, I honestly thought Ray was just sort of pretending to see something when he said, Oh my gosh, I see something. Sophie started looking out towards where he was pointing, asking where, but Ray didn't respond. He just kept on looking out into the darkness with this shocked look on his face. Keeping the shot on him, I looked off into the darkness to try and see what he was looking at, but there was nothing. Just this big, dark field, barely lit by what little moonlight made its way through the clouds. Ray suddenly turned to me and told me, rather frantically, to get a shot of the field and what he was looking at. I obviously did as he asked, but there was nothing but darkness, and my camera didn't pick up anything at all. I kept the shot on the field for a couple of more seconds, purely to please Ray, and then as Sophie asked what he could see, I instinctively turned the shot back to them to capture the exchange. Without taking his big, frightened eyes off the field, Ray started explaining to Sophie how he could see Gwenllian. Divine Jupiter, thank you for the 5. Says, hey Joel, do you think something like Frankenstein's creature could ever realistically be possible, as in reanimating and all given tech advancements? Oh, 100%, yeah. Like, I don't know if you saw on one of, like, the Epstein documents or whatever, but I think they were legitimately talking about making, like, homunculus shit on one of their, like, islands and stuff. Like, one of the craziest aspects about the, like, as you get into the Epstein sort of realm is his obsession with, like, eugenics and genetics and basically blackmailing all of these, like, high-end scientists and stuff like that. I mean, if we can make clones, right? Keep them alive for however long we can, I believe we can do whatever the fuck we want genetically at this point. Like, I have no fucking doubt that there's some crazy, crazy shit that we have. Like, maybe at some point in the future, you know, did you ever hear of that story about how they found like a giant in a fucking tomb or some shit out in Iraq, out in Iraq, you know, and that's like, it was like a red-haired giant, had like 6 fingers, and it was like gnawing on like some of the soldiers. I mean, it sounded pretty cool to think about. Yeah, like something to do with like the Nephilim or whatever, or like some sort of descendants of those giants. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me, right? I mean, like, reality is fucking strange. And if you have as much like just black ops money and endless like taxpayer dollars to do literally whatever you want for the past like 100+ years, as like the CIA has, right? You can just go do whatever the fuck you want and make whatever cool monster you want. It's awesome. Would y'all make out with y'all's clones? I guess I wouldn't really want to make out with a clone of myself, because I don't know, men are gross. I want to clone myself and need another me. Right, yeah. I mean, well, yeah, maybe. I guess it would be cool to send them out to do a bunch of various tasks and not make out with them. Yeah, the Kandar giant. I think that's what you... What about a Goral version? Alright, yeah, I'll fuck girl me, it's fine. Whatever. Without taking his big, frightened eyes off the field, Ray started explaining to Sophie how he could see Gwenllian out there, kneeling in front of her Norman executioner. And Sophie asked, where? Then Ray, pointing again, all frustrated, and shouted, right bloody there. Sophie didn't say anything in response, something I suppose she often did whenever Ray claimed to have seen something. I assumed there were a lot of exchanges like this, with Sophie keeping her mouth shut for the good of her job, and I followed suit and simply panned back towards the field to where Ray was pointing. I heard him say, "It's her! It's her! No, wait, it's..." And then he went quiet for a second. I panned back to him, hoping I could catch whatever he was going to say next, and the look on his face was nothing short of haunting. Ray looked terrified. I mean, truly and traumatically terrified, more so than I'd have ever seen on the faces of soldiers coming under fire. And then in a voice that shook with fear he was feeling... Shook with the fear he was feeling. Shook with the fear he was feeling. I'll never forget the sound of it. Would I have sex with a robot? I guess when nobody's looking, honestly. I'm not gonna lie. If it was there, and they were just like, Hey, big boy. Feeling lonely? I know how to fix that. Like, how are you gonna... You're just supposed to say no? You're supposed to clap some fucking cyborg cheeks, bro. They found giants all over the planet. The Alton giant is one of the recent times in lots were found in the Mississippi River valleys in the earthquakes of the 1820s. Fuck yeah, dude. I'm all on board with that. I don't even give a shit. I'm so sick of whatever the fuck we've been taught in school about anything. I don't even care anymore. Do the cheeks clap with a robot? I mean, if they're made right, they should. You're calling into customer service. Hey, yeah, my, Sucky 9000 bot, its cheeks they just don't clap. Yeah, there's something... Can I send this back in for a rebate? Or for a refund? Thank you, sir. Thank you for calling, sir. You are very kind. Thank you for using Sucky 9000. Unfortunately, you have... your refund is well past due, and you have owned this robot for 9 years. Now you could trade it in for stored credit if you'd like $25 off. Alright, let's do it. Let's upgrade. Do not redeem! Do not redeem the Sucky. But then, like, what happens whenever all of a sudden, like, something malfunctions and it just, like, straight up lops your dick off with its, like, metallic innards? Something just, like, closes, or, like, one of its muscles, like, cramps, but it's, like, made out of, like, cold metallic steel and just giving you, like, a second circumcision. Someone could be on the other side of the robot laughing, posting on the internet. No, thank you. That's a trap. Can't trust the clanker. Come on, man. Don't you think that's a little racist? Not wanting to have sex with a fucking cyborgian? First live I joined and Joel was talking about robot butts. Welcome to the party. I watch the comments on my TV, type them, chat on my laptop. It's fun to be certain political words get shadow banned in chat. Yeah, I mean, there was a while ago I like had probably like 100 different words, because initially I was like avoiding politics or whatever in the chat, right? Because it's just kind of like not fun or whatever. And so there's quite a few words I think I have like as banned words pertaining to politic. So I apologize for that, but it's probably for the better. It just didn't make a difference if you avoided politics. I mean, I think I should avoid politics in general. Like, it just upsets people, right? But, you know, sometimes you want to chat about it, and I try to maintain, like, a degree of nuance. I mean, I think that's where people have their biggest issue is, like, I honestly think that there's got to be a degree of categorization of the mental illness that is getting pulled into the camps of left versus right. Like, the groupthink, the kind of like marginalizing other perspectives as basically others and dangerous, you know what I mean? Dehumanization. That's a mental illness, right? Some degree. But then like to then kind of fight against any of that criticism because it like digs into your identity. I don't know. You're a centrist realist if YouTube made it so it didn't matter if you talked about it or not. Yeah, I don't even know. Like I wouldn't even say I'm a centrist, because it's just more like I like to approach each topic from just the topic's perspective itself, you know. Not, like, I know we oftentimes get so pulled into like it has to be in this camp or that camp, but that's just not reality at all. And at the end of the day, you realize just talking about things isn't actually like, it's not actually dangerous, right? It's not like you discussing things is somehow going to result in like the end of the world. I don't know. Americans bring politics and the left-right wing paradigm into everything. It's so pathetic. You know, that is totally a fair, unfortunate outcome in America right now. It sucks, man. It sucks because it's so divisive, right? And it's always like, yeah, so self-centered around the American political system all the time. Now, granted, obviously, America plays a big role in the world political stage, but it is a very like just America-centric perspective at all times, and it's not like our political discussions or our political left-right paradigm is, you know, a very stimulating conversation. It's just boring. Yeah, it's boring. It's easily controlled, and it's divisive. It's stupid. It's bomboclat, really. He's literally sharing photos of himself as Jesus now. How can people even defend that as a point? I'm tired of this timeline, my fellow Buttersakians. Who's Jesus doing the Jesus thing? I don't know, man. I think we just have to understand that they're all part of like a group of like all of them, like ever left, right, whatever. It's just too easy to control. There's powers that have been in control for a long period of time, probably using finance to make that happen, right? You know, just follow the money, and you have to understand that you're just not part of that club. Like, you are to them the useless eater, unfortunately, and you're very, very expendable. Have you thought about starting a political or philosophical type podcast? I don't think I would be that great at it, you know what I mean? Like, I listen to a lot of like intelligent people talk about politics, have a lot of insight. I'm just kind of a normie, right? Like, I have some insight and stuff. I have some political perspectives that I try to articulate decently, but I'm just not, I don't think I have enough to give, you know what I mean? That's really going to like, or enough energy to constantly keep on top of it all the time and be informed. I have some friends that like know everything about history, everything about whatever, and like their brains are well equipped to like discuss those particular subcategories. But I'm just kind of a rambler, and I don't know. One problem I see with the discussion is that people don't define words before getting into arguments, debates, discussions, like what people think socialism means. Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, establishing definitions is like usually whenever you see actual political debate, that tends to be what they do. They're like, before we begin, we're going to establish what this means. You're going to be arguing from the perspective of anti-whatever, and you're going to be arguing from the perspective of pro-whatever, and and then you can, take your turn, write your notes, come back with your, your counters, and everything is like curated by someone who's like the referee or whatever you want to say. But nowadays, like people that have like the most viewers, the most viewership, they don't even waste their time debating, because it's like, to me, that's a divisive tactic that can be used where, like, if your audience never sees you in a weak position, and if your audience never sees you like coming to parlay with the opposing perspective, they themselves never actually have to do any sort of inner retrospection. They just constantly view you as their like political mouthpiece and a representative of them as a sort of like avatar demigod. And as long as they never have to view that their demigod is wrong, they will continually be pulled down that pipeline of basically a non-nuanced perspective. So that is one of our biggest issues right now in politics, is people just don't have debates. Like, just have them like that. Dude, whenever people have debates, whether, I remember there was a period of time where, I think it was Ben Shapiro and Destiny or some shit like that. Not saying like, not like I'm like into either of them or anything like that, but they consider themselves opposing opinions to one another. And the fact that they did a debate was what I think was relatively respectful and whatever, and it enabled people to like make it their own decision, presumably. And I just wish that would happen all the time, instead of like you go to most people's political YouTube channels or podcasts and it's just like this nonstop rambling and like shitting on people, calling people terrible names, and it's just like, what are we? What really are we? Where is the healthy debate? I have someone in my life that chooses a famous person and slowly becomes them. Like Ryan Gosling from Drive. They get the jacket and the glasses and they look cool. Someone asked if a Christian and a Catholic could be together, and I said yes because of my relationship, and they started judging me. Yeah, I don't know, man. Just communication. Communication will save this nation, I promise you. Then, in a voice that shook with the fear that he was feeling, he said, and I'll never forget the sound of it, That's Ava down there. That's my little girl. I lost the shot completely as he barged his way past me, with Sophie calling after him as he went. He reached the top of the stairs, then started hurtling down with them, with Sophie close behind, shouting, Ray, slow down! I tried my best to capture what was happening, but I got nothing but a shot of Sophie chasing after Ray as he ran for the stairs. I tried to follow as fast as I could, but it's not easy to hold a camera steady if you're moving faster than walking speed. And then before I could get a single steady shot of anything, I heard a brief yelp from Way. It's just like so many like political commentators are afraid to look dumb, right? They're so afraid to look weak before their congregation. And that to me is just like a telltale sign that they care more about being a cult leader. You know what I mean? Oh, Mon Bleu, don't exchange social media with people. It's just like a rule that I have within the chat, is to not exchange social media. Low IQ discourses by people who think they're smarter than they really are. Yeah, and like there's nothing more low IQ than like basically saying you're never going to like hear your opposition's perspective, not even entertain them. And then they get audience captured, and then the audience, whenever they finally do have a debate, says like, why would you platform that person? Why would you platform that person? It's like, why wouldn't you? You've been putting them down for 9,000 years. You might as well actually like hear if they truly are the demon that you paint them out to be, right? Fucking goofies. Joe, does different religions matter? What do you mean? In what context? The healthy debate has been eliminated, and now it's all mud-throwing, name-calling, labeling because you think something different. Propaganda works so well. It's not good, folks. Not good. Politics are absolutely not welcome in my life. During the next election, I'm shutting everybody out. That's It's totally reasonable. Don't let anybody socially judge you or whatever just because you don't want, you want to maintain your peace in your mind, and I think that's healthy. If someone wants to find my socials, it's the same name every... Okay, guys, let's just chill. This is why your opinion is so much better than most of the voices out there. Your perspective comes from human nature, not political ideology. Well, because I have nothing to gain, I think a lot of the times, because some of these political perspectives are audience captured, like, you really have to start to wonder whether or not these people actually believe what they believe, because there is this sort of like subconscious understanding that if they continue to peddle out the same perspective every time towards like their audience that that's captured them or whatever, that they'll continue to make money from it, right? The grifters, I guess you could say. And it's, sometimes people become grifters without even realizing it, because if you're a mouse and you get cheese at the end of the tunnel by following the same pathway over and over again, eventually you're going to know that pathway to said cheese just innately in you, and eventually you're going to forget that you're even in the maze that you began with, right? Joel, why don't you want to chat to exchange social media as bad experiences? Yeah, there's like, there's some people that have like had, like, they not, this isn't to say everyone, and once again, I'm not trying to like make anyone look bad in here, but there's like one of the mods, became friends with someone totally unbeknownst to me or whatever, and then that person became a crazy stalker, of them. And it was just like, yeah, it was literally like a stranger danger type moment that, they probably shouldn't have entertained that person any longer, but it just, people who seem seemingly normal also have like, can burst into their like mentally unwell state at any time. And I'm just, and Fry, yes, Fry is the stalker. He's the resident stalker in the chat. So I'm just saying, like, I would just like to set it more as a rule that people just don't exchange anything, because you also don't know how old everyone is, right? So you don't want that kind of shit to happen, blah, 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 you know how it goes. Totally agree. I've had friends that used to be super pro-life until they needed an abortion. Others that went pro-abortion until they had kids. Experience changed. Right, I mean, like, your hormones change how you think, your fucking, life experience, your trauma, all sorts of stuff, you know what I mean? Like, to sit there and blanket coat everyone is just the most closed-minded perspective. And a lot of the times the people that like want to sort of morally browbeat you to your perspectives, then you see what they actually look like compared to like their social media, and you're just like, ugh, what the fuck am I? That's who I'm arguing with. What happened to the collab you mentioned with the UFO guy? I actually reconnected with him. Where that's still under the still in the works. So you can look forward to that here within hopefully, at least a month or so. And I'm excited, man. It's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah, priorities change as you age. Health issues might bring into question things. And then before I could get a single steady shot of anything, I heard a brief yelp from Ray before Sophie suddenly screamed out his name. Or more like she screeched it, so loud and with such terror that it was like nails on a chalkboard to my ears. And that's when I heard the sound of him tumbling down stone stairs, like a scuffling, a yelp, and then these dull cracks as he hit the literal rock hard steps over and over. I stopped trying to record things after that. Thankfully, the stairs were in a spiral shape, so he didn't go flying all the way, go flying all the way. What's happening with the UFO guy? There's a channel. He is called the Dreamland Motel. He makes ufology videos about a ton of really interesting topics within ufology, the history of like non-human intelligences and things like that. But he does it kind of in like a semi-ASMR format. And I think you guys will really like this channel if you haven't already checked it out. Great for, doing basically the same as my channel. And he's a really good writer, really good presenter. So we're doing a collaboration here at some point. I think it'll make like a really cool vid. Quick hi, quick bye. Hey, see ya, Canonimus Rex, Saurus Rex. What channel is that? Yeah, let me link his channel here. Maybe I can even pin it, just out of respect to him. Let's see, shit, it's almost 11:30. The Dreamland Motel. Okay. There you go. I'm gonna just pin that one. Bone apple teeth. Do he use AI? I don't think so. I mean, he shows his face in it. I think around the time that people look at that, like he's actually doing really well. Like 9 days ago, 15K views. 2 weeks ago, 19K. So his channel has motion, in my opinion, and I do believe like he has a lot of potential to like blow up. Do I believe you could have an Ian Carroll type rise if you started a political podcast? Have you heard of Jimmy Dore do dissidents with you and audience size? You could do a collaboration. I've heard of Jimmy Dore. My one buddy's dad loves Jimmy Dore. I know. I've seen some Jimmy Dore stuff. I watched some of the Jimmy Dore stuff during like the unraveling of like Epstein's file stuff, just because it seems like Jimmy Dore is like open to the concept. I know he's kind of leans left, but I know he seems to be more open to the conspiratorial minded stuff. So he's like more open to just like, well, I could be wrong. You know, I don't know enough of Jimmy Dore to fully comprehend it, but it seems like he's open to the mind of like just trying to get to the bottom of something, right? Which is good. Ian Carroll, I've liked him. I do have a lot of apprehension towards Candace Owens being kind of like a controlled opposition character, due in part to her recent marriage to that like financier from the UK worth over $100 million in that family line or whatever. I don't know if you guys saw that. It's a bit strange. You know, you have to be apprehensive because all these people, they come out of nowhere. They have this meteoric rise. They represent like either, you know, a really hyper left-leaning person, or a really hyper right-leaning person, but they might all just like, you know, kind of play into a larger like Overton window that you can kind of control who is or is not considered, whatever you want to say, dangerous or whatever. You know, it's just it's a bit of an oddity to me. What the hell is a Jimmy's Door? I don't know. I have no idea. But no, I don't think I could ever be as comprehensive as like an Ian Carroll type or a Jimmy Dore. I just don't have the passion for politics and like the general space in my brain to like log that much information, if that makes sense. Unless I like really studied it and had a presentation for you. Jimmy Eats Dore, yeah. Tim Dillon is my go-to friend of the show. I love Tim Dillon. Yeah, I probably watch Tim Dillon every Saturday when he releases an episode. He's good, man. You know what I mean? Like he's good. Tim's funny. He presents things in a comedic way, while also, you know, it's kind of like a little bit of a black-pilled perspective, but at the same time, I think it's realist. And Joel, we're like the X-Files of politics. I suppose so. Bob Lazar votes for aliens, man. Who knows, man? Who knows if any of it's legit, right? I mean, even Tim Dillon, who, like, you know, supposedly is outside of like influence. I mean, he's openly said that he would sell out in a second, along with his meetings with J.D. Vance and all that kind of stuff. Now, granted, he's been pretty openly critical of like various power structures as well, which I admire, obviously. But I just don't think I have like the wit and the mental capacity to keep up with really any of the political individuals. Like I can ramble about it for a little bit, but I run out of steam pretty fast. If you know their name, they're in the game. All of these well-known political talking heads are actors, all compromised. I would imagine so, for sure, right? Like, it would have to be. Like, you can only go so far. Like, I really liked Whitney Webb. Have you heard of Whitney Webb? She was one of my go-tos because she, like, opened my mind to the idea of Epstein and Les Wexner and, you know, that whole circle of, like, the blob, as they called it, right? The intelligence apparatus that just controls everything and has been controlling everything for long-ass fucking time. Madam Webb. I mean, you could call her Madam Webb if you want. She's so smart, dude. I want to marry her. I know she's like married and stuff, but I can only ingest so much political content before I start spiraling. It's totally fine, you know. You don't need to. It's just It becomes an addiction. It becomes like, because sometimes you have to understand that some of this is literally an addiction to being mad. Like some of it's an addiction to stress hormones. You know, it's like in a weird way, I don't know, our brains are just geared. Like, you know, I've had friends tell me many times, they're like, you know what they're not reporting on? Good news. They're not reporting on the fact that, like, as a friend put it, my energy bills have been going down lately or whatever. They're not reporting on the fact that, you know, this week the Cannibal Island didn't kill anybody or eat their skin. So that's a solid start, I would say. It's like an addiction to being right. Well, that's the thing. I mean, I guess I can understand, like, yeah, you're trying to pursue truth, but as long as you understand that truth is never going to be like one side or the other all the time forever, right? You know, you have to pursue that truth with the understanding that at some point in the pursuit of truth, your reality might literally break down. Like that religion you've held since you were a kid could potentially just be shattered. That sort of, I don't know, just that sense of identity has to be, to a certain degree, mentally fluid. Opinion validated and then raging out when someone says, but yeah, it's what's like the idea of spiking your cortisol. Fuck that shit. I don't know. It's like they feel a certain way and someone is saying what you've been wanting to say. Yeah, it just makes you feel good. It makes you feel safe, right? You get to your favorite political commentator and you feel nice and cozy and safe, and it's everyone around you is just like you, and you're at church. You get to pick your individual who's like your pastor, and they say your favorite lines from your favorite book, and you feel good, and everything's okay, and no one's gonna hurt you, and you know, it's kind of cringe. Clavicular man, looks maxing. I don't know. I never really understood the clavicular thing. Like what he doesn't like. I'll be honest. He seems more like you know, like some characters like come along and you can tell why they're contentious, right? Like the Andrew Tate's, right? I understood. He came along. People perceived him to be some sort of like crazy guy, whatever. But then like clavicular comes along, and I don't even really look at clavicular as a human. Does that make sense? I don't mean that in a disrespectful way at all. I just look at him and I'm like, he seems like it's like a mannequin. Like if you have a mannequin and it's been activated, it was touched by a fairy godmother, and now he walks amongst us. And for some reason he is some sort of contentious figure, but I don't find anything about him interesting, I guess. I mean, I suppose he's kind of cute. Norman Bates vibe, yeah. He's like Pinocchio. He's fucking Pinocchio. And maybe it's because he's so young. You know, I look at him as like a little, like I really do. I mean, I look at him as a little boy. Like I guess I'm almost 36, and he's like, what, 19 or some shit? Like, of course he's gonna look like a little boy. I think he's got high-functioning psychopathy, or he may have autism. I mean, maybe that's it too. Like sometimes there's a little bit of a humanoid aspect to those tendencies. Everybody under 25 is 12. Yeah, he's like 21. Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, if he's having fun, he's having fun. Whatever, dude. Okay. Thankfully, the stairs were in a spiral shape, so he didn't go flying all the way down. But I knew he'd picked up a nasty injury before I saw him, because Sophie's screams somehow shifted up a gear when she saw the blood. At least I thought it was just blood she could see, because when I got down to where she and Ray were, with her standing over him as he was splayed out on the stairs, I realized that the damage was way worse than just a few cuts and bruises. Ray must have smashed his head against the step on the way down, and while they'd been worn down after nearly 1,000 years of use, they still had these sharp, almost jagged edges in places, and were made of the hardest of local stone. Corella stone, in fact. Corella de Ville stone. What is this stone? The fun thing about reading is I feel like you always get to learn a little bit of something new. Corella. Wait, how do you say this? How to say Corella? Corella de Vilstone. Clones definitely walk amongst us. I think so. Like, I know this sounds schizo, and I know it sounds crazy, but I've come to the conclusion, and I say this respectfully, I'm not trying to be weird. I actually think Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, Peter Thiel are not human. I actually think that they're not human, that they're either skinwalkers or some type of high-functioning synth that's like part, basically like a cyborg of sorts. Or maybe they're demons. Maybe they're demons, I don't know. But there's something about them where they operate as emissaries. They operate as representatives of an organization beyond. They're not just like your typical capitalistic Goombas, right? There's something about them that's part of a larger movement, and they are just chosen as sort of like the war chieftains of their particular field. Zuckerborg. Weptiles. Weptile. They're the newest Pokemon. I just collect them. Thanks, Nintendo. Yeah. I think the McDonald's CEO is not human. I don't even see what he looks like. I guess he wasn't a fan of eating his own delicious burger. The motionless billionaires. The Goombas are Boombaclat. True. Okay, Corella is Quarella. Okay, good to see. Quarella stone. Can I see... Computer, can I see this stone on a picture? Any kiwis in chat? The ones with vitamin C. Joel, is Neo an old mod? Neo. Wait, who is Neo? Actually, I have no idea. Let's do this. Neo? He's a moderator. Who's Neo? My own mod? Oh, it's Justin? Justin, you changed your name to Neo Bloodhaze, you freaking nerd. Oh, Neo's Babes. Oh, okay. Hi, Babes. The fact that you couldn't tell it's me is crazy. I didn't even, like, when my screen is, like, primarily orange because of, you protect your eyes. And, like, I didn't even see, like, the little shield next to you. I thought you were just, like, an ongoing, member. Yeah, sorry about that. That's funny. Neo Bloodhaze. Why did you change? Well, don't even worry. You don't even have to answer that. It's totally fine. Bill Clinton admitted to human cloning back in 1996. It's mind-boggling that people still think it's just conspiracy theory. Well, right. And a friend of mine had told me that it's like not illegal to do clones, right? Or you just go to another island or some offshore place and do your little genetic experiments or whatever. I don't know, man. It's just so strange to me that everybody like wakes up every day and they're just like, nothing's weird, nothing's strange, nobody would ever do anything bad, and everything just pans out exactly like it's presented on the news. Because why would it? Like, literally, why would everything just be hunky-dory all the fucking time? Why, like, if you had any money and any degree of clandestine sort of like operational clearance, why the fuck would you not make a clone? I'd make a fucking clone. If I was in the CIA, that's all I would do is fuck around with clones. Have sex with them. Just kidding. You ever eat a lemon like you would an orange? I don't think so. It sounds kind of... maybe I could try it. We have offended God and he has rewarded us accordingly. Well, thank you, God. American definitely does black projects like human hybrid cloning. As we should, man. As we should. What else is there to do? We're bored. We took over the whole earth. We need fucking half wildebeest, half human puss. We literally need like the island of Dr. Monroe happening right now. Truth in movies, lies on the news. Oh, that's a good quote. You got some good quotes. He's got the best quotes, folks. Some of the best quotes. The furry island. Corella Stone, in fact, stone that was obviously considered harder than Ray's skull. I don't think I'll ever forget following Sophie's torch beam with my eyes, only to see a horrifying amount of blood pouring down that same stone steps. Ray had cracked his head open, and I don't mean that with any sense of exaggeration. There was a clear and terrifying split to his scalp, through which I could see blood, bone, and something paler and whiter which glistened under the light of Sophie's torch. Phil had heard the scream too by that point and had come running to see what was going on. He was the one to call 999, the one to rush off to where we parked the cars so he could guide the paramedics to where Ray was lying bleeding. That's mostly why I still feel a lot of affection and respect for the man. I'd rather foolishly. Damn, dude, everybody's head exploding and shit. We should clone Tamura Morrison for an army, that's all I'm saying. I mean, it'd be so cool if we just, like, have an army of cool-ass giants just, like, sit it. Would we even need an army like that? Oh my god, dude, I just realized. If they do fake an alien invasion, right? If they do fake the alien invasion, we probably have a bunch of just, like, fucking weird alien hybrid bullshits, like, underground somewhere that we'll just release and call them fucking aliens. But they're actually, like, our technology, right? That's what we do. Just release, like, and then you know what I mean? You have, like, the alien grays, and then, like, the other ones that are, like, the evil ones, and then you pretend one's on your side, the others are the bad ones, and then they have because you always need a conflict. If you want to control people, you always need to have an enemy, you always need to have a conflict, something going on, you always need to have a 7-foot-tall alien goth girlfriend ready to clap at a moment's notice, of which I do not, sadly. I mean, like in Gears of War? Is that what happened in Gears of War? Please, after they confirm UFOs or whatever, I've been so scared, I'm terrified of aliens. Dude, aliens are freaky, man. Freaky! But, yeah, I don't know. The thing is, with the deal with the aliens right now, right? The aliens, like, there's no reason that they should be, beginning this slow, methodical, like, disclosure process unless it behooves them, unless it benefits them for some greater form of control. One, to, like, desensitize us towards their eventual, like, introduction, but two, oh my fucking god, dude. It's literally like the episode of the X-Files. We gotta listen to that again. We gotta listen to it, guys. We gotta listen to it. It's too much. It's only 4 minutes, but fuck, man. Here we go. You guys ready for this? This is real life.
The tentacles reach far back into the last century. But it wasn't until victories in Europe and Japan and the onset of the Cold War that political and economic conditions became perfect for actual execution. A conspiracy bigger and more secret than the Manhattan Project.
More odious and far-reaching.
No sooner had we defeated Germany than a new threat started appearing in skies over America. Drawn to Earth by the latest threat to extinction, the H-bomb. Explosions acting as transducers, drawing alien life forms through wormholes in spaceships using electrogravitic propulsion. Advanced extraterrestrial species visiting us, concerned for mankind and the threat of our self-destruction, forestalling our annihilation through their own self-sacrifice, and crashes at Roswell, more importantly, places like Aztec. World leaders signed secret memos directing scientific studies of alien technology and biochemistry. Classified studies were done at military installations S4, Groom Lake, Wright-Patterson, and Dulce. Extracting alien tissue. Tests were done on unsuspecting human subjects. And elaborately staged abductions in craft using alien technology recovered from the down saucers. Including human hybridization through gene editing and forced implantation of alien embryos.
Why do such a thing and lie about it? Our own government.
Your own government lies as a matter of course, as a matter of policy. The Tuskegee experiments on black men in the 30s, Henrietta Lacks.
What are they trying to do?
That's the missing piece.
But it's not hard to imagine. A government hiding, hoarding alien technology for 70 years at the expense of human life and the future of the planet. Driven not only by corporate greed, but a darker objective.
The takeover of America.
And then the world itself, by any means necessary, however violent, or cruel, or efficient. By severe drought, brought on by weather wars, conducted secretly using aerial contaminants and high-altitude electromagnetic waves. In a state of perpetual war. To create problem, reaction, solution scenarios to distract, enrage, and enslave American citizens at home. With tools like the Patriot Act and the National Defense Authorization Act, which abridge the Constitution in the name of national security. The militarization of police forces in cities across the U.S., the building of prison camps by the Federal Emergency Management Agency with no stated purpose. The corporate takeover of food and agriculture, pharmaceuticals and healthcare, even the military in clandestine agendas to fatten, dull, sicken, and control a populace already consumed by consumerism.
And I encourage you all to go shopping more.
A government that taps your phone, collects your data, and monitors your whereabouts with impunity. A government preparing to use that data against you when it strikes. And the final takeover begins.
The takeover of America.
By a well-oiled and well-armed multinational group of elites that will cull, kill, and subjugate.
Happening as we sit here.
It's happening all around us.
The other shoe waiting to drop.
It'll probably start on a Friday. The banks will announce a security action necessitating their computers to go offline all weekend.
Digital money will disappear.
They can just steal your money?
Followed by the detonation of strategic electromagnetic pulse bombs to knock out major grids.
What will seem like an attack on America by terrorists or Russia.
Or a simulated alien invasion using alien replica vehicles that exist and are already in use.
An alien invasion of the U.S.
The Russians tried it in '47.
You can't say these things.
I'm going to say them tomorrow.
It's fear-mongering, claptrap isolationist techno-paranoia, so bogus and dangerous and stupid that it borders on treason. Saying these things would be incredibly irresponsible.
It's irresponsible not to say it.
Especially if it's the truth.
True. All right. Anyways, now you know the future.
Get right with your God, because it will come quick.
Alright. Make gold tiny pieces you can break off for trade. Everybody quickly make a bunch of gold. The Eater is here to feed us stories. Is there an afterlife? There most certainly is, yeah. I'm reading about prophetic type stuff hidden in comics in the 90s and 2000s, which have since been removed in reprints and are impossible to find outside of OG copies. Yeah, I remember that, like, Illuminati card game even had, like, a trump card, you know, like a character who was, like, sort of the, you know, magnanimous leader or whatever it was, and it was very clearly, like, a Trumpian type figure. Can I please pin the clip? Yeah, I'll just link it. I won't pin it because we want to keep the alien, our, you know, Dreamland Motel friend up there, but it's there if you want to check it out. X-Files. I saw this thing where a bunch of different people were given an option of candy bar or bar of silver, and everybody chose the damn candy bar. That's awesome. Probably because a bar of silver is not amazingly delicious. Everyone is going to hell in the afterlife, eternal torture for all. Nobody will be saved. Jesus' requirements are too steep and impossible for any human. Well, there we go. That's positive. None of this stuff distressed me, but I very much like knowing about it and being potentially aware. I know everyone tells you to just, like, stop looking into it. Just, don't worry about it. But it's like, I don't know. It's entertaining at the very least, right? And if you could potentially position yourself to be in an advantageous spot, you know, prior to it occurring, why not? The thing about a true Satanist is that they have to tell you that they're going to do ahead of time. It's the number one rule, literally. Hence the Illuminati cards against so many. No, that's the thing, is they're not Satanists, they're Luciferians. It's... I know what you mean, though. Not trying to be pedantic. Alright, guys. Sorry about that. I got a little distracted. I'd rather foolishly believed him useless with all of those strange little gadgets and gizmos, but without him, without his cool head where my own and Sophie's were lost in a panic, I'm almost certain Ray would no longer be with us. And at that moment, I was almost certain he was dead. It seemed impossible to me that anyone could survive such a horrific injury, but somehow he did. After the mad rush to the hospital, with Sophie joining him in the ambulance and Phil telling me to jump into his passenger seat, we were told that the chances of Ray's survival were relatively high. I think they said something about him being put into a coma so they could handle the swelling to his brain, but the bottom line was that after a couple of days, he'd be awake and most likely healthy again. That was obviously really great news, and so great that I was able to start driving back home with enough peace of mind to keep from crashing, but sadly, we didn't get the happy ending I thought we would. I kept in touch with Sophie and Phil, hoping to carry on hearing all the good news about Ray's recovery, but as I said, the news wasn't good. Apparently he had this thing called post-concussion syndrome, and by the sounds of it, it was bad. Ray was having trouble remembering things about the recent past. For example, he couldn't remember what he'd seen that had frightened him in the minutes before he fell down the stairs at the Kidwelly. Sophie said that no one ever told him the full story, that he'd seen the ghost of his daughter out there, and to be honest, I should have probably seen this coming. I thought Ray was hallucinating, that he was ill, mentally I mean, and he'd legitimately hallucinated something like the way people with brain tumors do. But Ray really did have a daughter, and she'd lost her life as a teenager many years before after a long battle with leukemia. Sophie said the loss of his daughter was the whole reason Ray had become interested in ghost hunting in the first place, to prove to himself that there was some kind of afterlife or method of communicating with his deceased daughter. It was only once I was told that... Oops. Do you think the Nephilim were well hung? I hope so. Joe, the vast majority of the ruling class are useless eaters projecting on the rest of us. So you're interested in political podcasts, just know that most of them are bought off and reading scripts. Yeah, for sure, I agree. I do find that frustrating, like how much they view us as like worthless, but it's like, oh, congratulations, you guys thought of, you know, the most parasitic manner in which to like make your living, right? But for some reason, because they seem to have found a much more efficient manner in which to acquire resources and then manipulate said resources, somehow they fancy themselves gods. But in reality, I would say most of them are less capable than the humans. It was only once I was told this that I realized how, in a manner of speaking, I've been right about him being mentally ill. Only it wasn't some condition or a tumor driving him mad. It was grief. Grief that was making him see things and react in ways that were quite literally putting his life in danger. Do you think the Nephilim inspired Greek mythology? I mean, there's definitely a lot of like overlap, right? You know, with Greek mythology and certain, you know, biblical writings, I suppose. I mean, even that's kind of like some, in a weird way, I almost like wonder if like that lends some credence to their existence, the talk of like the Titans existing and their being like part, or like some of the gods of the past being like part human and part god, which would be like part either angels or part aliens or something like that. You know what I mean? It kind of makes you wonder, at least. I mean, Zeus could be a fallen angel, could be a Smalian of sorts. Oh, shit. You're talking about silicon-based life, Joel. Silicon-based? Aren't we carbon-based? You're saying something from another planet is silicon-based. I mean, wouldn't that be so far away? Guys, I have some unfortunate news, but I have rambled so long that I realize I have to get to bed, as it is midnight, and I started unfortunately late because of, you know, my dealings with taxes, the tax system. You can blame Uncle Sam for that, or Aunt Sammy. But I still have one more story to read, but I think it will take me too long and then screw up my sleep schedule, and I still have to shower. and go to bed. So I love you. I will get the next story recorded tomorrow, but it will be up on Patreon first thing. It's only $1 a month over there for early access. And yeah, and then I'll get it up on YouTube, same time, same place, 9 p.m. EST. Be sure to watch it right when it comes out. It really helps the video reach more people if you guys, as subscribers, watch it right when it pops out, because I don't know, YouTube's very momentum based, it seems. But yes, stay dangerous, stay wary. I promise things will get better. All right, guys, love you, appreciate you. Probably go live again on, what day is it? Probably Wednesday this week? Yeah, I guess we're starting. Dude, it feels like midweek. I have no fucking clue. You were my #1 most listened to on YouTube rap. Thank you, Maria. Appreciate you. Okay, yeah, follow me on Instagram at letsread.official to see Pradeep, and be kept up to date when I go live on YouTube. Otherwise, guys, I will talk to you soon. Be good, be well. Bye-bye.